Dimgaard Dungeon 10, DGD10, Green Deception. In 3.5, I wrote, I don't know how many. I didn't write as much back then as I did now, but I wrote a lot of Living Greyhawk adventures. And I really liked kobolds back. They had this thing called effective character level, which you could really exploit, and these surprisingly powerful kobolds. And by the time, Living Greyhawk ran its, 10-year course there, I think, 8-year course. And by the end of it, there was a reputation that people would run from kobolds if they saw that I had written the adventure.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how many emails I got. Yeah. The thing was, so the way the ECL worked was kobolds, they had weak statistics and ability scores, and to make up for that, they had these things called NPC classes, which were generally weaker than player classes, of course. They were warrior, adept, commoner, and something else, expert. Yeah, but kobold could start, like you started scaling them with 4 or 5 levels of those NPC classes, and so just like similarly in 5th edition, like at 4th level you get a feat, right? So you had a bunch of things you could do just from the fact that you were adding character levels. Once you added 5 character levels, you could do all sorts of weird things with kobolds. Most people would just say, "Oh, well, I'm just going to give him 5 levels of fighter and away we go." But if you looked at those, like adepts had a spell list, so you could give them a couple of spells that would synergize with a couple of levels of warrior, and there might be a warrior feat associated with it, and then you could make this really surprisingly tough CR1 kobold, and yeah. So
I can only imagine.
Yeah, so one of the adventures I wrote was what you had in Living Greyhawk was you had regions, right? So that were that corresponded to geographic regions, and then you had the core, which could be played anywhere in the world. I wrote a couple of cores, and the cores were much more restrictive. Right? They took a much closer look at them, and it's the only time that I ever had an encounter just sent back to me and said, "Yeah, this is just not going to work." And I remember what it was so in 3.5, you had this thing called use magic device was a skill, right? And
Yeah.
so one of the things that just having character levels did was it gave you access to equipment, right? Because regardless of whether it was an NPC class or a PC class, the equipment that NPCs would have was based upon their hit dice. And so I had built these kobold experts that had maxed out their use magic devices. So they were only like CR1 half. They had like 3 levels of expert, and use magic device was very similar to skills in 5th edition in that to activate a magic device that you couldn't normally use would be a DC, a skill-based DC. So these guys had maxed out their use magic device, and they each had a wand of fireball with 1 charge left.
Oh God!
So they were these CR1 half kobolds, and that each one had a 50% chance of activating his wand of fireball and sending a fireball out. It was for like 8th level characters, and Creighton Broadhurst, who was the primary editor in the core modules of Greyhawk, sent back my first version and says, "This encounter just doesn't work. It has to be completely done. It's way too exploitive." Yeah, and so and it's true. It was way too exploitive.
But you see a camp of kobolds. What do you do? I leave.
Good back. I gotta let a dog out, get food. I do have a couple questions about cleric stuff when I get back, though.
Okay. Yeah, in fact, why don't we all take a couple of seconds here to go to the bathroom, get a water, and then we'll jump into it as soon as everybody gets back. I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Trying to figure out why I dropped a new token, but the name won't show up when I type in the name.
It's because Dan has to manually go in and associate your token with your character sheet, and then check the text box to have it show your name. And
Yeah, got it. So we lost Roslyn. We still have Jadadiah, Bakvar, and Tobias and Zell.
Yep.
Cool.
I was considering to go more tanky, and I'm like, nah. I'm gonna keep holding my mace.
I don't know, man. I think you can, though, because, like, first it was just me healing, but if he's already split class into cleric, depending on how much he gets in the way of healing spells, we might be able to just roll you in and you never take any.
I was considering, like, maybe I should save up my gold and buy, like, heavier plate, increase my shield, get enchanted shield, go up even higher, and take some feat that increases my armor class or something. But then I saw Charger, and I remembered chasing down that mage, and I was like, None shall escape justice. As long as you hold a weapon, my gavel will catch you.
All right, I'm back real quick.
Okay.
Yes, the domain spells that you're given, in my case, war, are those just added to the list that you can choose from, or do you get the ability to use those in addition to your cleric spell list?
They're not additional slots. They are spells that are always prepared. Right. So
okay.
So you have as a cleric, you have a number of spells that you prepared that's equal to your cleric level plus your wisdom modifier. And then you get the 2 per level domain spells in addition to those. But they don't give you extra slots. You still have 2 slots as a first level cleric.
So I can only prepare 2 spells.
What is your wisdom modifier?
3.
Okay, so you at first level you prepare 4, 3 plus your 3 for your wisdom, 1 for your cleric level. So you choose 4 spells off the cleric list, and you have 2 slots that can be used for any of those 4 spells plus your domain spells. So you could cast the same spell twice, right? Or you could cast 2 different spells. But you're only going to be able to cast 2 spells.
Okay. I get it. Okay. And that's per day or per long rest?
Per long rest.
Okay.
Usually that's going to be a day, but there is a thing called the gritty realism rest variant for longer stage adventures, where a long rest is a full week of recuperation and a short rest is overnight. But usually you're going to have like 1 long rest equals 1 day.
Yeah, and there's definitely a rule that time boxes where you can't have more than 1 long rest in a day, in a 24-hour period type of thing, so you don't like cheese it. Like, I'm going to sleep 16 hours and fight 1 hour in between each rest.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, do you need to know which ones I have prepared?
I trust you to keep track of that.
Okay, well, the two or domain ones that I got were Divine Favor and Shield of Faith.
Yeah, so then you would pick 4 more. Healing Word is almost certainly going to be one of them.
Yeah, no, it's already one. Guiding Bolt, conspicuously enough, is one of them. Cure Wounds and Bless.
Yeah, that's a good range of choice. Anybody else? So everybody's got their. So we had several people go to 4th level, right?
Yeah, we had a couple.
Yeah. So you've got your ASI or feet worked out, and
Oren made it to 3rd.
well, I'm ready if you guys are.
Yep, Bakvar's ready to chase down.
We've got a few days of downtime if we want to do something with that.
I changed my character token if you can give it the rights and take out the old one.
Okay.
The circle one's the new one.
Another fan of the coin.
I was looking up a different one that's just like a clip art, but I'll go with that for now because I don't want to take too much time setting it up.
There's not going to be enough time for searching for magic item. How many days precisely? Like 2 or 3?
Well, yeah, at least 3.
I would like to use those 3 days to search for stuff to kill.
Okay.
What you need me to roll?
Roll 2d4.
7?
Okay. So you're not going to have well, we're going to go ahead and say you consume the entire time and do that and so you would have 3 easy encounters worth of XP added to you.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head what that is. I guess I can look it up.
I look it up, but I left my DM guide in work.
375 XP, 125 each for 4th level.
Okay.
I'd like to try to build a rifle.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I guess that would be like a tinkering check, or
Is it not in the class description? I thought there was.
it is, but it's a I was going to build the bad news, which is a crafted only piece.
Does it give you a value on it?
No.
Do I have that downloaded? Let me look.
I mean, I guess I could just do a musket and just buy one, or use that. That's in the chart.
Now you're not using. You're using the gunslinger off of Reddit's Unearthed Arcana, right?
Yeah, I think so. I had sent it to you once. Let me find it.
It's with Grit and Gunslinger's Trail and.
I won't worry about it right now. I gotta find it. It's buried somewhere in email. My pistol's just fine.
I may have the wrong version of Gunslinger. There are a couple of versions of Gunslinger.
Yeah, there was one that I found specifically for Rogue that met their criteria, and I can't remember what it was anymore, but I'll find it. I sent it to you in an email.
I thought I saved it to my folder. I have a folder where I keep a bunch of homebrew stuff, third party stuff, but I don't see it there. I have a gunslinger there, but it's the one that has it as just a class. I think it was originally written by Matt Mercer.
Well, that one's an archetype for fighter. That's the one that I have on my computer right now, but I know that's not the one I sent you because obviously I'm not a fighter.
Yeah.
No, that's me.
Exactly.
Okay. What about we'll give you 3 or 4 days of credit for that for whatever it takes to build. We'll look it up afterwards and figure that out and get it.
Sounds good.
Is there any specific downtime activity for like making gold, like doing odd jobs or something along those lines?
No, but if there's a particular goal you have for your gold, that would be more like what downtime would be geared towards. Like what is it you're wanting?
I guess
to
the
for?
short term, I'm looking for like full plate, but I'm like quite a bit of gold off from that.
Yeah, just the nature of the campaign makes it hard to save up the gold for that at the appropriate level.
Right.
But there are, you can increase your renown with the various nobles using downtime, and you just declare you're going to use your downtime for that, and then they will dedicate at a certain point. You will have it. Like I think you have like 5 or 6 renown at this point. I think it's at 10. They will craft you a full plate.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So the idea is that you're like training their guards or running on some sort of covert mission for them, and then at some point they're like, well, we're going to contribute the full plate for you, because they don't really operate on a cash economy the way most campaigns do.
Right. I think that sounds like a very good option.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. What is Dimgaard wearing now?
I think it's chain.
So,
It's chainmail.
If you want to upgrade to splint now, that's certainly appropriate for 4th level, 3rd and 4th level. You should be at splint by now.
I think I can stand to wait a bit.
Okay.
well, I was going to ask the full plate that I commissioned from the Vardatus family. Did they have enough time to, by chance, finish that?
Not yet. It's only been about a week and a half, so it's probably going to be another 5 or 6 days. So sometime before you reach 5th level, they will have gotten it to you for sure.
Okay. I asked because I have split mail that I could give to Bogfar after that point.
Hmm. Okay, so things have settled down over the past few days as the rumors of the green dragons proliferating have subsided. There are still rumors on the frontiers, though, just like with the kobolds. Most of these are probably just rumors run amok people's imagination. But there might be some foundation to some of them. And we're together when a man wearing upscale garments, he has 2 attendants who look like they are his guards. They approach us in a tavern. He says, he introduces himself as Orgel. He says, I organize several traders. We're in Schmidtford, by the way. I organize several traders who are trying to establish trade routes to the north and east. Let me show you that map. That will help. So on this river, to the west is already well-established trade. And the river is inhospitable to riverboats between Schmidtford and Litchport. Lots of rapids and lots of portage involved if you were trying to get a boat. But to the north, it gets milder and deeper again. And Orgel is trying to organize the trade routes to the north. But he's doing it. He hasn't been able to convince Count Landis that it's worth the effort. And so he's come to you. And the problem he has is that to the north, there is a swamp called the Hoyk Swamp. It's always been infested with lizard folk. And they will occasionally make a play, but over the past several days, they have been very aggressive. They have been inspired to much more dedicated attacks on the river traffic. We've lost a couple of boats already. Others have had to turn back. I tried to get Count Landis to send out an expedition to address it, but he won't. So I need someone to go find out why these lizard folk have become so aggressive in the past few days, and in particular found a way to end it, even if it's by negotiation. And we're not asking you to go in and kill them all. That would be very hard to do. But if you can find out why and end it, that would be great. And I do have some resources at my disposal. We're not a wealthy conglomerate yet, but we are. We do get a valuable cargo between ourselves and the dwarves to the west. I mean, to the east or north occasionally. So we could issue a reward for achieving that goal.
Sounds good to me.
Seems like a very lucrative opportunity to make a trade route more safe.
Sounds solid.
So amongst our consortium, there are people who specialize in finished goods like armor. And my understanding is that you guys are looking for upgrades in your armor. I could promise that if we can reach a conclusion to this. Would that be a sufficient incentive for you?
I believe so.
Okay, so the Hoyk Swamp is a well-known location. You will have a little difficulty following the river and identifying it. It'll be on the left bank as you head north. Is there anything you want to do before you head that way?
I just got to buy some more potions.
Yeah, everyone should get a couple of potions. If you don't have a couple of potions already, you should have a potion.
All right, I'll buy one. Those are 75 gold pieces, right?
50.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, oops. I've been paying too much money all along.
Does anyone have the ability? Now, no one is 5th level, so no one can prepare Revivify. But we should have a couple of people who could activate a scroll with a caster level check, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the One True Faith does have Revivify scrolls. They're quite expensive, but we have a couple of people who didn't use their downtime, I believe. So if you wanted to use your downtime in the service of the One True Faith, we could get a scroll of Revivify available to us. In the event that someone actually dies, we would have the capacity to bring them back with a successful caster levels check by someone who has Revivify on their spell list.
Yeah, the owl will go ahead and work in that service just so that he can repay the person that used their Revivify scroll on him.
Okay,
with the scroll.
that would be great. It's an excellent use of downtime right there. Okay, anything else before we head off that way?
Yeah, I also changed my token for the last time.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
The white one.
the white one.
The one below the owl.
There we go.
Thank you.
And everyone should see everyone else's token and be able to move their own, right?
Yeah.
Yep, especially Rosalind's.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then away we go. All right. So I got 5 people. What is the owl's level?
Level 3.
And Jedediah?
Level 4.
And Tobias?
Third.
3rd. Okay. And Bakvar?
Level 4.
4. And Zell?
Level 4.
Okay. 3 4s and 2 3s. That's it. Excellent. Okay, so away we go up. So it's easy to recognize it. It's an area where the river spreads out and floods this lowland. It's just a dismal swath of insect-infested bogs, and it is obvious. It is not hard to find at all. But as we are approaching it, some crocodiles make themselves known.
Crocodiles, you say?
Leather.
Okay. 5 of us, 5 of them.
You can see all the stuff that's underneath the map, by the way.
Just don't scroll down that far.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I assume that water is very rough terrain.
Yeah, so the water is difficult terrain, as is this brush here. And also, once you are like 5 feet or so into the water, you can go prone and take total cover from anybody who is not adjacent to you, because of the brackish nature of the water. Okay, so I don't think we have a way to keep these guys from attacking, do we? So unless someone has something really unexpected, we will go into initiative.
Got nothing.
Seems reasonable.
Oh, shit.
I did it again. My initiative is 6. Yeah! Rearrange. I'm at the bottom.
Okay, so so he's going to come over here and try to grab the owl. 12 misses the owl, though, right?
So, yeah, 12 misses.
Okay.
Ooh.
An 8 will miss Zell. So,
Hey, why am I not on the...
not on what?
The turn
You
order?
Have your token selected.
I did. I was wondering why the 2 went before me. 1 probably could have, but
Okay, so what did you roll for this? Yeah, so you
20.
So you roll again
May
and
put
put
myself
yourself in
there.
initiative. Yeah, and then correct that 2 to a 20. There you go. Yeah, so you should have gone first.
That's fine.
Yeah, so we'll let you go now.
These appear aggressive.
Yes, you are in their
I
swamp,
see.
and you look tasty to them.
Well, I'm going to attempt to strike the one right here.
Okay. Looking for a 14 to hit these guys. Oop.
Nope, no dice, but I'm going to disengage right to here.
Okay. How are you disengaging?
And that'll be it.
How are you able to disengage like that? It's
'cause
normally
I hadn't moved.
Well, it's normally an action to disengage. Rogues can do it as a bonus action with cunning action.
So he would just get an attack of opportunity on you, right?
I'll stay there then.
Okay. Right. So now we're back in the right order, I think. Grr comes up to attack Zell. $17 to hit Zell.
That matches my AC.
Okay. Zell takes 10 points of piercing damage. Should put that in there. But yeah, it is piercing damage. Yeah. And you are grappled and restrained. The escape DC on the grapple is a 12.
Okay. Do I need to roll it now?
No, you don't have to roll it at all. You decide if you want to try to escape or not. Probably you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Tobias' turn.
I'm gonna try and hit that one with a sacred flame. He just has to do a DC save.
Okay. Uh, 12. I don't think that's good enough.
Yeah, I think it has to be a 13, so he takes 10.
Okay. Anything else from Zell? I mean, from Tobias.
No.
Last one. He also will come up, try to take a bite out of the owl. He's going to miss, and it'll be the owl's turn.
All right, the owl is going to disengage using cunning action, and he's going to back up as he readies his short bow.
Okay.
And he's going to attack the first alligator or crocodile that tried to reach for him.
Okay. Well, if you attack one of these three, your sneak attack will proc.
Oh, okay. What does the yellow dot signify?
That means this one. Oops. This one. No, I'm sorry. This one has Zell in its mouth. It has Zell grappled and restrained. See how Zell has
So I'll shoot at
a
that
yellow
one.
dot too. Okay. That's going to miss. We're looking for 14 on these guys. Jedediah.
All right, I'm going to move down to here, And then also take a shot at the one that's got Zell grappled.
That's exactly what you need to hit.
Perfect.
All right. That one is bloodied now. Anything else from Jedediah?
I'm going to bonus action. No, never mind. I'm not. I'm in wide open. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Bakvar's turn.
There's a lot of them. Bakvar's gonna dash 16 feet right to here, push by Tobias, and then attack this alligator with his bonus action.
Okay.
That didn't hit at all.
No.
That's all it's gonna do.
Yeah. Okay, Zell's turn. Okay, so a couple of things for Zell. You can use your action to make an escape attempt. Alternately, you could shove this one back 5 feet using one of your attacks. You could use a shove action. Do you get a bonus action if you take the attack action as a war cleric?
I do. I get a bonus action, or I get an extra attack with a bonus action.
So you could make one escape attempt, or you could try to shove him back twice, or shove him back and then attack, or if you successfully shove him back. Usually when you're grappled by a creature that doesn't have reach, you're better off trying to shove them away than actually break the grapple.
That's going to be an athletics or a strength check.
It'd be athletics. The exception is if you have a really good dexterity, you can use acrobatics to escape the grapple, whereas it's always an athletics check to try and shove them away.
I'm going to try to shove it to get the attack.
Okay. Right, so he is shoved back 5 feet, and that's going to end the grapple. So you're no longer restrained.
Son of a bitch.
For what?
He attacked and
I attacked it.
Oh, and then you attacked. Oh, I see.
And I missed.
Okay.
And just because he's ticked off, he's going to action surge and try to hit it again anyways.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's going to hit.
that's better. 13.
Okay. All right, so that one is bloodied now as well. Anything else from Zell?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right, so this one's going to try to attack Bakvar.
Yes.
11. Sure that misses Bakvar.
That misses.
Okay. This one is going to try to hit Zell. An 8 will miss Zell. The one who's almost dead is going to try to... is it going to... No, I think he's going to disengage, and he swims back out into the pool there. He disappears underneath the tide. This one, though, he's mad at Zell. He's going to move back up and try to rebite Zell. A 19 to bite Zell. So Zell is grappled and restrained again by the same one. So 7 points of piercing damage, and once again, grappled and restrained. It is Tobias' turn.
Can I use my attack to free him?
You could...
Or should I just attack it?
Well, you could do the same thing Zell did, which was shove it away. There's really nothing in the rules that would let you drag Zell away from him. It would be something like a contested strength check to try and drag Zell away from him if you wanted to try that.
Well, I just didn't know if I could attack it if I was going to end up hitting him. Or...
Oh no, you won't hit. You won't hit Zell if you attack. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do that then. Never mind.
Okay. This one's going to try to bite Bakvar. You're going to miss Bakvar. The owl's turn.
All right. Well, the owl is going to take aim again at the one that has Zell in its grasp.
Again.
Okay, that's going to miss. Anything else from the owl?
I'm going to take a step back into the brush, and can I hide?
You can. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So make a stealth check. You think you're very well hidden. Jedediah's turn.
Damn, he's gone. I'm going to move into the brush and then take a shot at the bloodied one that is grappling Zell.
Okay, 12 will miss.
And then I'm going to stealth.
Okay. You think you're very well hidden as well. Bakvar's turn.
I am going to golf swing this alligator right here.
That's going to hit. Yeah.
Home run!
13.
Right.
And that ends Boxbar turn.
Okay. Zell's turn again.
I have a question. How hidden is the one out in the water?
I mean, you know his location, but he has total cover because of the water.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, you can see the water above him, moving, so you know where he's not stealth, he's not hidden, but he's also not targetable by spells or effects.
Well, we're going to repeat the shove maneuver.
Okay. And you succeed again.
And I'm going to swing at it.
Okay. 12 will miss.
All right. Bonus action. Swing it again.
Okay, that's going to hit. Yep. All right, so that one is dead.
All right. And assuming that this one is within reach,
Yeah, he is.
I'm gonna attack that one. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I get to. There we go.
What? I'm sorry. What's the 23 from?
Greatsword.
No, I mean, how are you?
If I drop an enemy, I get to attack another one.
That's a bonus action, though, right? And you've used your bonus action from the war cleric to make the second attack. Am I wrong with that? Is the war cleric not also a bonus action? Yeah, you can only use one bonus action for an attack. It looks like you've used 2 this turn. Is that not right?
Hold on, I'm pulling up the feeds. If it's a bonus action, then never mind.
War cleric is a bonus action.
Yeah, so those are
No. My feet. My master.
Great Weapon Master is also bonus action.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, never mind then.
All right. All right. So trying to bite Bakvar. 22 to bite Bakvar.
That will hit.
Okay, for 7. I'm sorry, for 5. I don't know where 7 came from. It was crazy. And you are grappled and restrained. All right, so this one is going to attack Zell. 19, so Zell will be grappled and restrained. And this one swims on. Kind of swims off the map there. And it's Tobias's turn.
Okay, the one with the pink circle is make a DC 13 check on my head with Sacred Flame.
Okay. All right, so he fails. He takes 7 Sacred Flame damage.
All right, I'm going to bonus action and hit Healing Word on Zell.
Okay. Is that it for Tobias?
Yeah.
Okay, so the one that Bakvar hit is now going to bite at Bakvar. 14, I believe, misses Bakvar.
That misses.
It is the owl's turn.
Oh, okay. I was like, are you rolling?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. The owl's going to attack this creature here, since he sees Zell's not doing too well.
All right, that's going to hit.
Awesome.
We should have some sneak attack damage there.
And I'm going to go back into hiding.
Okay, there should be some sneak attack with your right. You
Yeah.
5 piercing, and then there should be 2d6 sneak attack.
I rolled it. 7.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay. Jedediah's turn.
All right, Jedediah is going to take a shot at the one grappling Bakvar, and I'm going to use Sharpshooter to take -5 on my attack roll and hope to do an extra 10 damage.
Okay.
Big money, no whammies.
And a miss.
And now I'm going to stealth and hide in the corner.
It is Bakvar's turn.
Looking at my situation, I'm going to now try and, even though I have disadvantage on attacks, try and attack the one grappling me
Okay.
or restraining me
21 hits. Yeah.
for 10. Then I'm going to use the Divine Smite, use a spell slot to do a wonderful 4 extra damage to it.
Okay, it's still up, but it is bloodied now.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay, Zell's turn.
Rinse and repeat. We're going to use my guidance roll to add a D4 to that.
Okay.
13.
13.
No.
Yeah, it resists your attempt to shove it.
Can I still attack it?
Yes, yeah, that is an attack action when you try to shove it. So you could still attack it with disadvantage, or you could try to shove it again.
Yeah, no, I want it off. That's better.
It can't beat a 23. The best it can do is a 22. So, yeah. You just shove it back.
Awesome.
And now it's going to come back and bite and grapple you again.
No. I'm moving back. Fuck that.
Okay, so this one drags Bakvar out to here.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
And then it goes into a death roll. It just wraps around you and tries to throttle you. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. You can make a DC 13 dexterity save to half that. Okay, so you only take 2 points. So this one's going to rush up, try and grab Tobias.
Yay, not me.
11 misses Tobias.
Yes.
And it will be Tobias's turn.
I'm going to try and Sacred Flame that one that's got Bakvar in the water.
Okay. That's a nice Sacred Flame.
Does it have essentially full cover with death spinning me in the water at this point?
No, you have to go prone.
Intentionally go prone? Okay.
Uh,
That was a max roll on your Sacred Flame. Holy shit.
how are you adding your wisdom modifier to your Sacred Flame, Tobias?
I'm not. It was just there. Whenever I did the up there in the damage thing, like it did it automatically.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it says wisdom plus 0 on the thing, but it's just adding it to it by itself.
Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't add if there's a saving throw involved, you don't add your modifier generally, unless you have some special ability that lets you do that. Okay.
Oh, okay, I got it out. I figured it out. I got it out.
Okay. But 8 is still enough to take him down. He still dies. Anything else from Jedediah?
Me neither. I'm good.
Okay.
So rolls Tobias.
All right, so this one's going to turn around, try and bite Bakvar. He will miss Bakvar. And it will be the owl's turn.
If I run from the one brush closer to the brush where Bakvar is, do I lose hide?
No, you could dash over here out of sight and get up there. Yeah.
All right. So, I'm going to move, let's see.
Just going to move over. Yeah, that's good. That's reasonable.
And I want to shoot this guy. That's the one that dragged him out, right? Because the other one's gone or dead?
Yeah, there's one over here that's still fighting. And then there's the one who's bloodied there by Bakvar. Yeah. Is going to hit.
Great. Wouldn't I get advantage because I was hidden?
Or 22 is going to hit. Yes, you would.
Yeah. Okay. Just in case. I just wanted to make sure I have the rules right.
Yep, you're right. This one is barely hanging on. Jedediah.
All right, I'm going to leave that one for Bakvar, and I'm going to take a shot at the one with next to Tobias, and I'm going to use the sharpshooter again.
That's going to be a plus 10 to damage.
Yeah, let's see if it works. And I get advantage because I'm hidden.
18 hits. Yep.
Well, it's -5, so it's only 13.
Oh, okay. 13 misses.
Damn it.
Bakvar's turn.
War golf swings.
All right, so
For 13.
okay. That one, yeah, he's only got 2 hit points left, so down he goes.
I'm going to wade myself out of the water. I think that was... Yeah, that was about 15 feet.
Okay, Zell's turn.
The one in front is getting hit with Guiding Bolt.
Okay, looking for 14.
That misses.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, he's actually going to go around. Tobias hasn't really hurt him. 16 misses Zell, though.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to make it another round. We'll see, though. Tobias's turn.
He AFK'd for a second.
Oh, okay. Let's see what the owl does. We'll come back to Tobias.
The owl's going to make another pop shot at him.
Oh, crit. Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, snap.
Someone's been hunting alligators in the past.
Okay.
Darn!
So that one is dead as well. And we've got
Damn.
these crocodiles. You know that they have an exotic hide if we can extract it from them.
Yeah, I can try to do that. I think I'm the only one that has that ability now.
Yeah, so it would be either a nature check, or if you're proficient with leatherworking tools, you could add your proficiency bonus to a wisdom or a dexterity check.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
There's one. We got, what, 3 more?
Yeah.
What do I need?
Need a 20.
That one's not recoverable. Neither is that one. And neither is that one.
Okay.
So we got 1 out of 4.
Bakard's essentially sitting there with his chin in his hand, watching you like butcher the hell out of these crocodiles, just gore everywhere, and no hide to show for it.
I got
One hide.
Yep.
I think that's enough to make it pop.
Okay, so we know in here there are these lizard folks called the black fin lizard folks, and we're going to need to find where they are. The most likely things would be like intelligence investigation to kind of put together the clues where they are, or you could use survival to track them, to find signs of their passage, track them down. But you may have something about your particular character that might have a different, or you could always try to help someone else doing whatever they're doing. So I think Zell has a pretty good survival, right?
+6.
Yeah, so that would be valid to look for signs of tracks. Jedediah,
I get free guidance.
yeah. What about Jedediah? What could Jedediah do to help the group find these lizard folk?
Jedediah is also really good at tracking people as a bounty hunter and has a 5 in survival, so I'm also going to look for tracks.
Okay, what about Bakvar?
Bakvar's favorite terrain is the courthouse, so he's going to help someone else.
Okay,
As he is not familiar with the forest
gotcha.
or the bog.
All right, so Zell or Jedediah, Bakvar is going to help you with yours. What about Tobias?
Okay.
What could Tobias?
Still AFK, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's still
Oh, he's
AFK.
still AFK. Okay. What about the owl? What can the owl do to help in the effort?
The owl can either choose to investigate on his own or assist in helping in the tracking. So I'll probably try investigating first.
Okay, so it looks like Zell has a 25, and then Jedediah, I think you're going to have help with that, though, right? So you'd have advantage. Also 25, very good. Bakvar is going to was helping, and then the owl is going to do it and investigate. You'll also help with your investigate. We'll have Tobias help you with that. So a
25, 25, 19.
Yeah. And I think as part of his helping, he would give you guidance. I think he has guidance as well. So add a D4 to your 19 there, the owl.
A D what?
Tobias also
D4.
can use guidance on you to help you with that. So it would be 19 plus a D4. Presuming you're willing to listen to a little bit of preaching along the way.
Sure.
Okay.
Hot darn.
That's a very good first round. Right. So, actually, it's a teeming morass, but we do find a lot of traffic. But without warning, as we are going through this dismal swamp, some swarms of biting flies and other types of insects attack us. We just kind of stumble through one of these infested areas. So we got 5 of us, right? Let's see. And it looks like Zell's the one who stumbles into the most of it. 3 of them attack him, and then 1 attacks Botgar, and 1 attacks Tobias. So against Zell, we got 1, 2, 3. 1 of them hits for 11 points of piercing damage. And then against Botvar, got a 10 will miss. And against Tobias, we got an 8 will miss. So not bad. All right, so so we think that we are in an area that by this point that shows a lot of blackfin lizard folk activity. We can find standards that have been discarded, open crates where they may have looted a passing boat and then emptied its contents and divided it up and moved on, but we haven't quite found them yet. So it takes a few more minutes, but we're only 1 short, so we'll complete it this round. And then we see on one of these little hillocks, see how it's kind of these convergence of dry land, there is a small but organized camp. There are young lizard folk, like too young to be a threat, really just look like sort of humanoid lizards at that point, who are frolicking in and around the pools that surround the camp. And in the middle of a camp is a battle standard that you can recognize as a symbol of the black fins. It's just sort of an incomplete triangle that's colored black to represent a fin. And and there are 5 lizard folk who look like they could be a threat. Like they're carrying spears and shields. Spears and shields, sort of lingering around there. Looks like they're just sort of enjoying the afternoon. But the signs of the raiding leads to this camp, and in the camp you can actually see some of the crates and bags that obviously are not of lizard folk construction, so they must have taken them from the passing transports that they attacked.
Does it seem like they might have noticed this at all?
They do not appear to be on alert. They're not expecting any sort of an assault. So no, you could be far enough back that they have not seen you yet. So you could be like 100 feet away and they haven't seen you yet from the signs of it. They're just, looks like a lizard folk camp enjoying their afternoon.
Do we see signs of any other warriors, or is it just the young ones?
No, there are 5 warriors in the camp. Yeah, there are 5 of them who look like they would be able to put up a fight.
I wonder if these people will be reasonable if we tried talking.
I know I'm going to second win because I'm going to 12.
Solid second wind.
Because maybe they're attacking people for some other reason that we could solve.
I'm okay going in with diplomacy, or I can hopefully sneak better this time than last time and get into a vantage point in one of these bushes.
I agree. I'll go to an opposite bush.
Yeah, you can do diplomacy.
All right,
With the sticky people hiding.
we've got a couple of
How far away would you say we are?
That's what I'm saying. You could be up to 100 feet away. So you're far enough away to where they haven't apparently noticed you yet. They're just sort of milling around the camp, talking things over. Seem to be rather happy with their raid of the morning. And so, yeah.
So I guess I'm going to turn to the rest of us and ask.
So from a metagame perspective, right? You have the choice. You think, well, can we negotiate with these guys? Are we going to go in and announce our presence? Or you're like, well, no, we think these guys are not going to be amicable to negotiation, and we should just sneak in and get an advantage and attack them. Right? And that's just sort of your choice to make.
Right. I'm gonna, I guess, ask everyone like, would anyone mind if I just like asked one of them a question from here? It's unlikely they will figure out where we are.
Go for it.
Okay, so from like 100 feet away, I'm just gonna point to, I guess, one of the warriors and cast message, and just essentially telepathically ask them, like, I guess it'd be, I don't know how language works with this, but if it was to be a language, it'd be in common. I guess the question would be like, are you willing to talk about what you're doing here? And then,
it's not telepathic. It's an actual worded message with message.
yeah. So the word must be like, are you willing to discuss?
Right. So the one target looks rather surprised and looks around. Does not seem to understand you. In common.
I guess I can relay that. Like, I don't think they speak common.
Big surprise.
I mean, you never know. They walk on two legs.
Think that they would be familiar with Draconic.
Yes, lizard folk are known to speak Draconic. Is their language? Yeah.
We have a Draconic speaker, right?
Yeah, that would be Zell.
Want to try to go in and talk to them?
Yep, gonna have to.
Alright, then I'll stay back here and a vantage point in the bushes.
I get to be up in the front. Hooray!
Good thing you're second wounded.
I'm only at like half HP.
I guess what I was doing, like, essentially move up in the bushes, trying to be stealthy-ish.
Do we have Tobias back yet? No? Okay.
I don't believe so.
Right. So Tobias is going to... I don't think Tobias... I think he is... I think he's wearing heavy armor. I don't think he's sneaky. Let me look.
Yeah.
I'm also wearing heavy armor, so I'm not super sneaky either.
He can't be sneaky with a 20 AC.
Yeah, he's not sneaky. So I guess he's going to go in with Zell. He's not... It would look worse for him to fail a stealth check hiding in the bushes than to go in with Zell. The other three of you, I guess, make stealth checks at that point. Try and hide.
This is going to go over well.
Owl and I think, already did.
Oh, yes. 9.
I had 2, but I'll take the new roll just for shits and giggles.
Fuck.
I'm done.
Okay, so Zell and Tobias come walking in. These guys see people hiding in the bushes, and they immediately get defensive, but they don't attack outright.
Yeah, I take my hands off my weapons and kind of hold them up a little bit. Not too far where I couldn't draw a weapon if needed, but I ask in Draconic if they're like needing assistance with something, or if we could just pass through, because we're just on our way somewhere.
Okay, so the guy in the middle there, he is shouting in Draconic, and the young lizard folk are scampering away into the pool, just so you know, so that they're not exposed to unknown incomers. Right. He says, "Yeah, this is the Blackfin territory. You can't stay here. You need to go back out where your people belong."
I'm sorry, you cut off after. Go back out.
Yeah, you need to go back where your people belong. You need to leave the swamp. The swamp is for lizard folk. The river is for your folk.
So we can't just merely pass through and not cause any trouble?
You can go around. The swamp is only it would only add a day to any journey you might have, whichever way you're going to go around.
I'm gonna whisper to Zell. Well, I guess I wouldn't actually understand any of that. Are you
Who has
relaying
the
any of this
sending
conversation?
Everyone has one.
Yeah.
But would you be willing to real time translate the Draconic to us?
Yeah. I kind of figured I would do that, yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna essentially come out of the bushes not holding any weapons. And say they may be saying that we're trespassing in their area, but you should probably remind them that they weren't keeping up that idea by attacking people on the river.
Okay. He says, yeah, so the river adjoins the swamp, which is our territory. We have a right to tax access to it. Yeah. We have a right to exert our authority and impose a tax on the non-scaly folks who are using the river so close to our territory.
I'd like to use the sending stones, detect thoughts, to see if I can pick up what their mood is, if they're on edge, if they're hostile, or something like that.
Yeah, so their primary concern is that we have outsiders who are in close proximity to the things that they held precious, their children and their mates and their so they are feeling very exposed at this point. I'm
going to use a sending stone to tell Zell that that's what their concern is that it's, hey, we're worried about protecting our children, our family, so on and so forth.
We're going to give you some inspiration for using that, by the way. That was a good use of it. You've been very handy with that detect thoughts.
It's a good spell.
He's in good hands. Like Allstate.
Nah, progressive all the way.
So I guess side note, because I missed part of what we were hired for because I was retrieving food. Just kind of out of character real quick.
Right. So these guys have always occasionally taken an opportunity to try and steal from the passing riverboats. But over the past few days, it is taking a dramatic upturn. And you were asked to find out the reason is unimportant, but you were asked to bring it to an end. The consortium that is trying to establish a trade route to the north won't be able to do so with the Blackfins raiding at the level they have been for the past several days. Traders are just unwilling to brave that type of hostility and can't afford to hire ongoing protection to protect them against it.
I guess I would directly ask them, is there a reason that you are taking from the people on the river? I guess.
He says, yeah, so I have to demonstrate that strength and the traditional use of force is the way to achieve a good life for my people. I have this heretic who talks about isolation and simply trying to live without any contact with the outside world and worship this green dragon as it grows up, rather than exert our claim of territory. He's already subverted over half of those who were following me to this isolationist, peace-loving, non-violent blasphemy. So,
I see. So that kind of actually brings me to a fairly beneficial on both sides question. We are actually actively seeking for a particular group, these green dragons. We would be more than willing to facilitate the removal of that green dragon to attempt to broker some level of peace with you. We don't actually wish to come here to cause any troubles. We're actually trying to figure out why certain events were occurring. So if that green dragon's causing a problem, either indirectly or directly, we would be more than willing to assist with taking care of that.
Right. Well, yeah. If you could get rid of the dragon, that would be. Yeah, then I believe that things would settle back down to the way they have been for so long, where we take only what we need. That I don't have to demonstrate what a great opportunity for a profitable lifestyle raiding on the river would be. Yeah, that would be mutually beneficial. Yeah, I would greatly reduce the activity from what it's been in the past days since this dragon arrived.
Okay.
The dragon is now protected by lizard folk who have adopted him as the future Messiah, the one who will save the lizard folk race and raise it to prominence once he's grown. But if you could get past them and I'm not saying you need to kill the green dragon, but at least eliminate its influence from my people, then we could go back to a more peaceful lifestyle. The leader of the cultists is named Bosk. He's been a part of the Blackfins for a long time. He's kind of has a spiritual, religious nature to him. But yeah, a lot of the lizard folks do. He's a follower of Simeonia, who's our primary deity. She watches over us. But yeah, they're centered. Right. So about a half a mile to the north, there is a camp similar to this one, except that one of the pools near it is actually has an entrance to an underground cavern system, and that I believe is where the dragon is in residence. He doesn't come out in the open. At least I don't think so. I haven't seen him out in the open for several days. So my impression is that Boss provides him whatever he needs and keeps him safe and comfortable in that cavern system. And the entrance is guarded by Bosk's followers. But yeah, if you do that, then we will. I don't know if we will ever completely stop raiding, but we will cut back our raids enough so that it will be easier for your folks to travel back and forth. We might even be willing to negotiate a non-violent system of tribute to where we wouldn't raid at all if you could do that.
I think we could come to that agreement. I'm pretty sure our employers would be more than willing to agree with that arrangement.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Seems very fair.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess we'll go check this out. Now the people, your people that have gone with this Bosk, is it your desire for us to try to limit the violence as much as possible and just deal with the green dragon?
Right. Yeah. These are our Blackfins who have been persuaded by this dragon cult. I don't I would much rather have them as productive members of our culture than dead. Yeah. If you,
Okay.
but I think if you eliminate the dragon, then they will return to. I mean, they're certainly always going to have a reverence for dragons. That's just natural for lizard folk. But I think that they would return to being productive blackfins under my leadership.
Okay. And I'm assuming that the members of the dragon cult that have subverted your people are among those.
Yeah, they're all lizard folk over there. Yeah, they're all former members of the blackfin. Yeah, they
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, they've all been persuaded by Bosk to give up our traditional way of life and come worship in this new dragon cult.
Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely think we can work with that. We can definitely head that way and take care of the green dragon.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, there's not even a roll needed. He agrees to that heartily. If you can eliminate the corruption, he will negotiate a non-violent pact with your traders to allow them to pass the Hoik swamp unimpeded going forward.
Alrighty, and I guess I'm going to offer up my map. So if he's amenable to marking on the map where this location is that we need to go.
Right. Yeah, it's not hard to find. I mean, the swamp is a bog, but there is a dry enough path leading to the north here. He tells you it's going to take, since you don't have a swim speed, it's going to take you about 2 or 3 hours to get there. If you had a swim speed, you could be there in about an hour.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess if you guys are ready, we can head that way.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
I'm marking. We shall go.
Okay.
Do we need to skirt the village a bit to get up there?
No, he lets you through the village at that point. They're convinced now that you're not going to kill their kids, and he lets you through.
That's not what we're there for.
Right. So it's been some time. So several minutes go by, like a half an hour, as we head towards the cultist camp, and it seems like maybe they have exposed you to something, or maybe it's just a byproduct of the swamp. But a wave of nausea washes across you, and it taxes your fortitude. So I'll need Constitution saves for this. Does anyone have proficiency in medicine?
Tobias does.
Hey, Tobias, you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone has advantage on this. So it's a DC 13 Constitution save. Everyone has advantage.
Bogfire looks around, wondering why everyone is getting sick from this disease.
Yeah, not me.
So the owl fails. It looks like he's the only one who fails. So who am I missing here?
If it is a disease, Bogfire would be immune.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is a disease. Yes, it is a disease. All right. So we had. So the owl takes 11. Everyone who's not immune takes 5, and then no one failed by 5 or more. So there's no secondary effect. That's good.
And
So how much does owl take?
The owl takes 11. Everybody else takes 5, except for Bakbar, who is immune. And as part of the trek there, it's not a difficult trek. It's just sort of a boggy trek. We can take a short rest as a part of that.
Excellent. That was my next
That
question.
would be awesome. I'll spend the hit die.
So how does the spending of the hit die work, by the way?
you have a set of hit die associated with the levels you have. At the end of a short rest, right, you can roll any of those hit dice and gain back that many hit points plus your Constitution modifier. So if you had 3 levels of fighter and 1 of rogue, at the end of a short rest, you could choose to roll up to 3 d10s and 1 d8 and regain that many hit points plus your Constitution modifier for each one. Then once they're spent, you regain half of them after 1 long rest, and then the other half after the second long rest. So a long rest restores half of your spent hit points, and 2 long rests will restore them all. So if
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you had 4 hit dice, you spent them all. A long rest would restore 2 of them, and then the second long rest. So if you needed to use them the second day, you would only have 2 at that point. So Zell gets back 10 plus his modifier for that.
Yeah, Max. Woohoo!
So ahead, like the previous Lizard Folk camp, there are a set of weather-worn tents resting on a plot of dry ground, and another set of young Lizard Folk play around the camp. However, this one does not have the blackfin standard in the middle. It has iconography dedicated to the Lizard Folk deity Simeonia. I don't know if you know who Simeonia is. She's a neutral deity, the primary deity of Lizard Folk, and her primary ethos is that Lizard Folk have to do whatever they have to do to survive. Her primary theme is the survival of Lizard Folk. So she's neutral, and she can accommodate whatever Lizard Folk need to do to keep the species continuing. She's also has secondary beliefs associated with fertility, right, which again relates to the survival of lizard folk and their proliferation. So apparently these
guys... what you're saying is the lusty Argonian maid is here.
Yes. I guess we could try our hand at half lizard folk. But there are significantly more of them. Looks like the cult is more influential than the war band at this point. There are 5 of us. There are 14 of them. So there's a whole swath of them up there.
And these are the younglings?
No. There. In addition to that, there are like a whole horde of non-combatant types, like children, lizard folk playing in and around the camp, sort of swimming and fishing and playing games, like just growing up. They're just being lizard folk kids.
Alrighty then.
So there's no adult lizard folk here, though.
No, yeah, there are 14 adult lizard folks. They, yeah.
Okay.
There are 14 who are carrying shields. They do not have any weapons on them, but they do carry shields. Looks like they would be able to defend themselves relatively effectively.
Do we see any, anything that looks more fancy that might be housing a religious figure such as a green dragon?
Well, no, but Kosk, the war chief, told you that somewhere underneath this pool there is a submerged tunnel that will lead to a chamber where the dragon is housed and protected and provided for.
I say we go in diplomacy looking for Cask to pay homage.
Yeah, I'd like to try that.
What was that?
I said that sounds like a plan.
I don't object.
I just think we're outnumbered. whether they're defensive or not, I think, hey, we heard about ask.
Before we go, do we have anything that might be able to like offer them to be more talkable? Because they wouldn't reason with their own kind, who then ended up resorting to robbing the river to try and show power, which apparently wasn't working because there's still a group of people here worshipping the dragon instead. So I wonder how willing they would be to listen to non-lizard folk.
Would I doubt it, as I don't know things, but as a survival list, would I know anything about what lizard folk are find valuable? I know they're here just to protect themselves and procreate, but would I know anything else?
Yeah, so they look for things that have utility, right? Like tools or things that would protect them from the elements, like tarps or animal skins to build tents out of. Weapons, of course, are always going to be valuable, or equipment for fishing, like nets or poles. Right? So they're looking for things that they can actually. So they're not in general going to be affected by what would be considered valuable so much as what would be useful. So they're going to have almost no use for gold coins or gems, right? They would be much more interested in some sort of a highly effective tool for gathering food than.
Or crocodile hide?
Yeah, they could find a use for crocodile hide. Yeah, they could make armor out of it, or it could be used as a very good shelter. Yeah.
Or they might think you killed one of their brethren.
I've got
crocodiles though.
I've got a spare longbow, a spare not a spare, but I have a spare longbow, a rapier, and a crowbar I could throw up as items of trade. And by trade, I mean goodwill.
Yeah, but add in a longbow to the list of things.
Too bad Rosin's not here. Didn't she get a whole bunch of javelins last time?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh. So, do we have anything else we can add to the pile? 2 longbows, a crowbar, and a rapier?
Crocodile, the crocodile skin.
Crocodile hide. So we brought a gift to pay homage to the Green Dragon. Any other plans?
No. I think that's probably going to be our best bet. Because if we say we came from the other part of the clan,
Yeah,
might be some issues.
Alright, well, is anyone here good at talking?
I speak Draconic.
Well, that means you automatically win, my friend.
I mean, most I can do is threaten people, so it's probably not a good idea in this case.
I've got good persuasion and intimidation and insight and deception, but I don't speak Draconic.
If only we had a bard. Well, I guess I'm going to kind of try to repeat the last instance of a visit and try to appear unimposing. Or rather, not unimposing, but try to appear non-combative, non-threatening.
Okay.
And basically relay that we are bringing tribute to a green dragon that we've been told resides in this area.
Okay, so they take notice of that. They're not immediately hostile. And they say, yeah, that the green dragon is amazing and beautiful and powerful. We will go down and see if it will meet with you. So this one heads off into the pool here, and the other 13 appear to be waiting, but they're not violent at that point. We're going to do anything in the interim, or are we just going to wait?
I figure we could just wait patiently, like all relaxed, limbered up.
Okay, so
I dig it.
a few minutes later, a additional lizard folk emerges from this pool. She is notable in that she has a beautiful purple hue to her scales. She is not the blackish gray that the other lizard folk are, and she speaks Larian. Right, so
Who am I?
We can all understand her.
yeah, so she comes to the middle of the camp, says, "Yeah, so I understand that you have brought a tribute to our new patron."
Yes, we heard.
Yes, we have.
And what do you want? What is your expectation in return from this for your token of respect?
We would like counsel with the dragon.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
More to the group, but I think we would like to have counsel with the dragon and have a conversation.
I've spoken to her on this matter, and Chiton, that is the young dragon's name, is only comfortable in the presence of lizard folk at this point. So I can relay messages to her for you, but she won't expose herself to you.
I whispered into the sending stone, "Shit."
But I'm very happy to relay whatever message you might want. I mean, there will be a couple of minutes of exchange, but she wants to have a positive relationship with the world at large, but she's only comfortable now in the presence of actual lizard folk.
Well, we wish to relay information from her other hatchling siblings that they have basically passed along to us should we find any more of their sibling. And so we seek to ascertain if she is indeed one of them.
So you're just wanting to know what her lineage is, what her familial status is? Because I happen to know that yes, she was part of a group of 8. It was her and 8 other green dragons who were hatched several months ago by a half-orc wizard. Yes, does that answer that question for you?
That does actually, yes. So I guess our next question, hopefully it doesn't come out wrong, but our next question is: what are the intentions of the young dragon and yourselves?
Well, as followers of Simeonia, we have always favored as much peace as possible. That war leads to death, and it is only because we have no choice, but that's our only way to accumulate resources. But Chiton assures us that there is a way with a magic called good berries, where we will be able to sustain our population here without the need to exit this swamp. And eventually she will be strong enough that once we have built up our population sufficient to conquer territory, that she will be able to lead us and establish a lizard folk stronghold that will serve as a as a homeland for lizard folk everywhere that'll be centered here in the Hoyk Swamp. That will be the eventual capital of an entire lizard folk nation that she will protect and secure in exchange for our reverence and service.
Okay, so not altogether seeking any actual like evil intentions or war, just kind of trying to establish your own home and just actively worshiping chitin is basically what I'm getting.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
So
peaceful
I guess
option.
yeah, no, that's pretty peaceful. I guess the only other question I've got then is we've been set to try to arrange a peaceful agreement between the traders and those of of your kind out here, so that they can travel without having to worry about being raided, if possible, as much. Obviously, there is the need for supplies, but it's kind of a hope that they could come to some type of another agreement with you to establish some form of a peaceful pact of sorts.
So there is a question of authority, right? So I can only exert the influence over my fellow worshipers to the extent that my persuasion allows. The fact that I'm very close to chitin increases my influence, but it doesn't really give me, the authority to dictate rules or procedures. And I would say that nobody within our group has that authority to negotiate a treaty of any kind. I know that chitin has no expansionary interest at this time. She realizes that she's much too weak to establish any sort of an empire. The problem that I run up against as we speak is that Quazak, the war chief, is jealous of the message of peace and harmony that Semyanya has delivered through chitin, that he wants a much more aggressive profile. And while all of us here agree in principle with the idea of peace and that it's much more conducive to survivability to avoid warfare, the truth is that some, at least maybe even many of those, even those here present in this camp at this moment, fortunately they don't understand Larian, so I can speak freely, but they are drawn by the thrill of battle and the rewards of combat. Further, good berries are amazingly bland, right? And while the first few days people were like, oh, well, this will be great. We'll just live off of good berries and we don't have to worry about food. There is some, many of the followers seek the variety. They look for fresh fruits or meats that the river boats carry, and are not satisfied with just staying in camp here, living off of good berries. They seek a more luxurious lifestyle than what is offered by chitin here. And I don't have the authority to punish them, right? All I can do is try to persuade them against it. That's Quas, right? Quas style is to, I am the war chief and I will say what goes on. We're much more egalitarian. I'm just happen to be the one with the purple scales that chitin likes, and therefore I'm more influential.
Are there any signs of any supplies from raids or outside sources other than just what they have made on their own?
No, this looks like it's all personally crafted by the lizard folk. Yeah, there's no signs of the contraband that was taken by the riverboat.
I guess I'd want to ask them or her if they see combat is like, would hunting satisfy their urge to battle?
Yes, and the difficulty we run into there is you would have to educate them in the difference between prey such as crocodiles or deer as opposed to humans and dwarves. The lizard folk typically view anything that isn't scaly and a lizard folk as equivalent prey. Right? So there's not a big difference culturally amongst the Blackfins between hunting and warfare. They kind of see warfare as an extravagant hunt against humans instead of deer.
Right.
Okay, so this actually kind of leads me to another point then. Her siblings, Chitin's siblings, are residing with a normal family of humans, and I kind of wanted to ask if your people would be willing to try to establish some type of a free state with obviously with conversing with Chitin with that family. They're pretty open to assisting with the taking care of the dragons. That's actually one of their family goals. They seek to make it evidently clear that the green dragons can actually be, to some extent, good. Maybe not necessarily completely 100% good, but not completely evil either. It's kind of a family goal for them. And we've already retrieved 3 of the dragon young ones, and one of the dragons actually have a family of kobolds that worship it. So it might be potentially a situation that, at least from my viewpoint, I don't know your culture entirely, but from my viewpoint, it might be something that could potentially be beneficial and would help to create a home.
I can't speak for her on that. That's information that is new to me. So I will take that message to her and bring back an answer in a few minutes. If you make yourself comfortable and wait.
Certainly.
Okay, so she dives into the pool up here. We're going to do anything while she's gone? A couple of minutes.
I think I want to mention. So, if like getting them to leave the swamp doesn't work, I think the other chieftain wanted them essentially to rejoin his part of the clan so that he could be stronger. I think that's what he was trying to aim for.
That's correct. He is agitated that his authoritarian structure has been compromised by these hippies. That's what it boils down to. He's Nixon.
Right.
He's Nixon, and this is the Abby Hoffman, Bobby Seals, Black Panther type element of the Blackfins.
So I wonder if we can't, like, anyone that doesn't want to leave, if we can convince them to be learn to hunt for specific goods to trade with the traders that come by on the boats for stuff that they don't have, like fresh meats and something like tools and materials they need, essentially teaching them how to trade with non-scaly people.
Non-scaly people. We'll probably have to wait till the purple lizard gets back.
Right.
Okay, so we're nothing else we want to do in the couple of minutes because it takes her.
I'm just resting.
Right, so it's going to take her a couple of minutes down, a couple of minutes back, and then a couple minutes in between to explain things. So she comes back after 5 or 6 minutes. So she says, yeah, so Chitin is very happy that her siblings have found a comfortable situation where they are safe. But Chitin is very comfortable where she is, that this is an out of the way place protected by a hostile environment and followers who serve her and provide for her needs. And she sees no reason to relocate. This seems like a perfectly legitimate place for her to grow in power until she is able to properly defend herself in a wider world. Yeah.
Choices.
I'm just not seeing it, guys. I don't know, man. It doesn't.
The owl doesn't.
I'm gonna huddle the group together here. Look at the purple scout one. Give us a second here.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
Well, before we start, I guess, out of character a little bit, it would take a bit longer, but we could, in theory, use my cantrip to discuss, everything between us completely anonymously, if we wanted to. But it would probably increase how long it takes to actually discuss something by, 5 to 10 times.
Well, that doesn't seem to be any problem with you withdrawing, several feet to where you can't be overheard and discussing the situation. She's not trying to impose on your ability to discuss the situation. And the other lizard folk can't even speak Larian, so.
Right. Okay.
And at the end of the
That's
day,
fine.
the dragon can probably hear us anyway. So, what I'm thinking is these guys seem to be okay. It really boils down to the Wartree being a jerk, and they just want to live and grow and live off of good berries. But the War Chief is hell bent, for lack of a better term, on staying with the old traditions and showing power and teaching to hunt and not caring about hunting between humans and crocodiles. So I think I don't want to go and gun blazing, but I think going back to the other camp saying, hey, everything's taken care of, and then we're having a conversation and saying, hey, look, they've got a better deal going on. It's better for everybody. Would you guys mind relocating, or is there going to be a problem? And kind of dealing with that much smaller, easier to deal with group to get the solution we need. But I don't want to necessarily go straight to violence. There's not really a whole bounty thing here, so I don't really care one way or the other. But tactically, I think that's a better solution than trying to fight a dragon.
But wasn't the overall mission to come up here and deal with the green dragon?
Well, it's to stop the raiding of the boats. And then the secondary mission comes from the aggressive member.
Right. So the thing that the merchant consortium wants is just the end to the raiding. They just want that. They don't know why it's occurring. They don't really care. They just want it. And then the green dragon is more of a tie-in to the overarching theme so far, right? It's.
And the Black Fin's not liking that this group is left to go worship the dragon.
Right. So the green dragon has developed a schism within the Black Fins. You've got the sort of isolationists. We don't want to fight. We just want to live off of good berries. Although some of them seem to be dissatisfied. That they're more like, well, we'll say we don't want to fight, but every now and then we might want to grab a passing barge for some fresh meat. And then you have the war chief who's like, no, our culture predicates hunting, which involves, raiding and fighting, and he sees the peace lovers, the dragon worshippers, as heretics, that they are radically changing the lizard folk culture that he knows and loves, and he's reacted very hostilely against that.
It's time to have a conversation with him, it sounds like.
Another one.
Yep,
Sorry,
sounds like it.
those draconic classes are really paying off for you.
As much as I would really love to retrieve this dragon and add it to the collection, that might just start brewing other problems. So
I agree.
Yeah,
I don't know
we're
if
not
we
going to be able to get this one
no,
anywhere near any level of ease, and it's going to be a very steady grind.
And you did give away that pack of water breathing, so getting to it will be tough.
Right. So I guess before we leave, we should probably at least warn them. Like they probably don't have a really large world view. That although we don't plan to do anything, a growing dragon will get stronger, and people will come to stop it as it starts showing its influence. And the dragon might be strong enough to defend itself, but it will certainly be some casualties among the group in these situations.
And that might be a good reason for them to relocate in the long game.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably our best course of action.
And if they say, no, we're good, we'll stay here, then go back to the war chief and have a word with him. And maybe bloodshed.
Okay. But so they seem intent on staying where they are, at least for the moment. If things evolve in a negative way, they may change that, but they seem that like they are happy with their current status and don't exhibit any intent on leaving. They would have to be somehow forced to relocate.
All right, well, I guess we're going to go talk to the Blackfins.
Oh my God.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I wonder if we should ask them to, like, do we plan on attacking them? Because they have like younger lizard folk.
I mean, both groups do.
Yeah, but
You're saying, hey, if we go and things turn south, is it okay if we bring the young folk and the
essentially,
combatants up here?
Essentially,
Doesn't hurt to bring it up.
Yeah, so they still consider themselves a member of the same tribe, the same extended family. Now, if something were to happen to the parents of the young lizard folk, it would be absolutely conducive to their belief system. I mean, they're all about the survival of the lizard folk as a species. So sure, they would care for them. They wouldn't abandon them.
That's what I figured. Well, let's go on and talk to the Blackfins.
the aggressive ones.
Again.
I agree.
Okay.
Diplomacy.
So I would actually be coming in from the north this time. All right. So his name. Let me put it here he's actually a recurring character. His name is. That's the war chief of the Blackfins. His name is Kosk. All right. So how are we approaching his little enclave here?
I would say we approach it pretty open and not trying to hide anything, just because they already trust us. So let's make
sure our weapons are sheathed.
Yeah.
Okay, so in you come. So what is our angle with Kosk this time.
I guess we should probably bring up that it's likely impossible to remove the dragon from the vision without removing everyone else related to it.
True.
Well, then that really only leaves me with the choice of continuing my high level of rating. I've made inroads, right? So, like a considerable percentage of the cultists have been swayed away to return to the life of a true lizard folk, and others have accompanied us on raids and in secret because they don't want their true feelings to be known amongst the cultists. I think that in the end that just simply stepping up our level of aggression on the river and we'll be successful in persuading them away from the dragon. So that's fine. Yeah, I appreciate your efforts, but I guess my strategy is the only one that's going to work in the end.
That's not going to work, I'm pretty sure, in the long run.
Why would it not work? It seems to be working so far.
Because you're just looking at getting the cultists back. But if you keep this aggression up, then there will be a lot of people looking for you and will not be as diplomatic as we are. Not that I can say any of this because I don't speak Draconic, but
Relay.
So I guess our goal is to stop this aggressiveness, and it's unlikely we'll be leaving the swamps before we can resolve this.
Well, what do you mean it's unlikely you'll be leaving the swamp before you resolve this?
Well, so the problem that you'll end up facing is if the raids on the river merchants and the river traders keep up, the inquisitors of the One True Faith will actually eventually come out here and they will deal with you personally.
And also you'll run out of boats to raid because they will stop coming down the river.
That as well.
As you've probably already noticed.
Well, I don't see an invasion as a real legitimate option. I mean, why would anybody want to invade a swamp? You might be able to get a few zealots who were willing to come after us, but that would be a pretty good opportunity for me, right? That would be even more opportunity for me to lead my lizard folk in combat. As far as river traffic goes, maybe we'll need to start launching longer raids if they're not immediately available on the river. There are likely protected farming villages within a half a day's travel that we could get to.
The issue is not that there will be an invasion. The issue is that the response will be that to protect the trade between cities, something beyond which you understand as a smaller group. It's bad for business for all of us humans. And people don't like having their money taken away, so they will fight for it.
Yeah, I'm not really I'm inclined to get into fights. That would be a good thing.
Can I do a perception check to see how armed and protected these guys are?
They have natural armor, but they don't have any.
What are their weapons like?
They have spears that look well made, but not exceptional. And then they have. Each of them has a shield. It's a normal wooden shield. I mean, they don't seem exceptionally well equipped, but they're not without equipment either. They're fairly typically equipped for lizard folk.
Gotcha. Maybe we should bring up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So the arrow points on the weapons do seem particularly sharp. Just so you know, so it looks like maybe they could do some extra damage in the right situation if they were able to put extra force behind it or something.
You broke up in the middle of that. I'm sorry.
So it's not their spear. It's their So each of the black fins in the war band, looks like they have taken great care to sharpen and reinforce their bite, so that in the right situation it could deal extra damage, more than expected on a crit, for example.
So, what you're saying here, Kosk, is that you will jeopardize the life of your children, your kin, your mates, instead of finding a peaceful resolution or moving to a spot where the green dragon does not reside. You put their lives at risk from incursion from Templars of the One True Faith because you want to show power?
What I'm saying is that history of lizard folk have shown that inevitably there is going to be conflict with outsiders. That is just the way the world is constructed. That there are those who do not like lizard folk, and there are those who lizard folk do not like, and we come into conflict. So the question is, how can the black pins be prepared for those inevitable conflicts? And I do not believe that sitting around eating good berries, just hoping that they don't occur, is the way to be prepared for them. That we need to follow the traditions of the lizard folk to remain skilled and ready and well practiced, so that when those Templars wade into our swamp, or we see the opportunity to strike back at them outside the swamp, that the black fins can fully utilize those opportunities.
Well, to the group out of character, I think it's time to give them some practice.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Yeah, I think we have to choose a side.
They don't seem. Do they look like? Are they on guard, like they're ready to defend from an attack, or are they just at ease essentially?
No, they're not going to be surprised. Yeah, they've got non-lizard folk in their camp. They are ready for. They are expecting inevitable violence. That is the pattern that history has shown them in these situations.
So are they like actually holding up their weapons type of ready, or is it just?
Well, no, they're not outwardly aggressive, but they are ready to defend themselves and attack when things.
What time of day?
By this time, we're late in the evening. Yeah, we're heading towards dusk.
Out of character? Or maybe we should just say, okay, well, we'll see what happens. We are done. We've done our best, and we walk away. Maybe take a short rest, and then come back when they think we're gone, or we can just throw it out now. Not really sure what will work best.
I have a feeling we'd get jumped from behind if we did that.
I kind of think that too. Well,
Yeah,
I'm down for initiative.
yeah, we're gonna have to. My character's going to be kind of against taking on the other group, not just simply because of the numbers, but because they have provided the outspoken phrasing that they are attempting to achieve an overly, or what my character would term as an abnormal, peaceful route versus what these guys are doing.
So, to start it, Bakvar is actually just going to raise his hammer and, I guess, just point at the leader. And just look at him expectantly, like, hey.
Calling it shot.
we're going to solve this with might as they want.
Or he's not.
Prepare to be spanked.
Yeah, and Zell's actually switching up how he's doing this time. Sword and board.
Ooh.
Yep, so I've effectively got a 19 AC for the moment.
Okay. Everyone in initiative. 1, 2.
Yeah, and I am activating alert from the stone, so my initiative's going to go up by 5.
Okay.
We are missing the owl.
Yeah, the owl's not in.
Yep. Rolling now. Damn it.
Making me feel better. Thanks.
You gave me a bad juju.
Zell, did you adjust yourself by 5? Yeah, you did. Okay.
I did.
All right. So Koss, realizing that things are in trouble, he moves over here, and he looks like he bangs loudly on a piece of metal, and then he's going to move up here and dodge. It is Tobias's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna Sacred Flame that one.
Okay. All right, he's got an 18. I believe that succeeds.
That killed it. Yeah,
They have good deck saves. Yeah. Particularly in the swamp. Anything else from Tobias?
that's it.
Bakvar's turn.
I'm going to dash up to this guy in pretty much like a direct straight line. I think, was that object that I would technically be on? Would I have to go around that?
No, you wouldn't have to go around. That's just like some looted flour bags, oats, something
Okay.
like that. So it's just like a few inches tall, not even a low obstacle.
Okay, so after my dash, I'm going to use my bonus action to attack
Okay.
the guy
Ooh.
for 9 damage plus 5 because I moved 10 feet in a straight line. And I'm going to use Divine Smite, I think it is, to do 9 more damage.
Okay.
Dang, nice. That's what, 21? 22?
23?
Yeah, 23. I
You
can't
do know
count.
there are
Sorry.
numbers between 1 and 8, right? For your divine spell.
Nah, no way.
So he's in bad shape at that point, but he's still hanging on. Anything else from Bakvar?
That is everything.
Zell's turn.
Well, I'm going to take up post as the Vanguard here, and I'm going to actually cast both of my domain spells, Divine Favor and Shield of Faith.
Well, you can only use one bonus action around, so you have to choose one or the other.
Right. Can I not actually cast one as an action and then use a bonus action for the other?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm going to specify Shield of Faith then. So I am sitting at a 21 AC.
Okay.
And you couldn't do both anyway because they're both concentration.
Right.
Yeah. So there are several things going on there. So we'll go ahead and hit that just real quick. So you can only have one concentration up at a time. You can't change the casting time of a spell unless you have something that lets you do so. And then also, if you use a bonus action to cast a spell, the only other spell you can cast that turn is a cantrip. Right? So if you use a bonus action to cast either of those spells, the only other spell you would be able to cast on your turn would be like Sacred Flame or something.
Okay. So I can at least cast a cantrip then.
You could cast, yeah. So you can cast Shield of Fate, and if you wanted to cast a cantrip, or if you wanted to attack, either of those you could do.
Okay. I am actually going to ready a reaction,
Okay.
and that's my turn. So, like I said, I'm at 21 AC for now.
Okay. So this one is going to try to shove Bakvar prone and then attack Bakvar. So I need to beat a 17 by Bakvar.
It's athletics, right?
Yeah. Okay, so Bakvar is prone. All right, so then he tries to bite Bakvar with a 15. I believe that misses, right? 17 is what he's looking for.
That does miss.
And then he's got a 22 with his club for 6 bludgeoning. Okay. Right, so this one is going to move over and attack Bakvar as well. Got a 14 misses and then a 17 for 4 bludgeoning. So this one is going to try to shove Zell prone and then attack Zell. So a 12 to avoid being shoved prone. So you are not shoved prone. So both of those miss. A 5 and a 17 both miss. And it is Jedediah's turn.
All right, fun times. What am I going to do? I'm going to move over here. And Kosk has dodged, it looks like, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Perfect. Then I'm going to shoot the one next to Zell, not
There.
Kosk.
That way you can see the dodge thing easier.
Okay. And so I'm just going to shoot the one that's not dodging. And I'm going to just shoot it. I'm not going to do anything too crazy. 16.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. So the bullet looks like it penetrates his scales, but then he has like exceptionally hardened, just like they have manipulated their teeth to give them a better bite. Looks like they have worked on their scales to give them exceptionally good protection from piercing damage. And that piercing damage does not seem to penetrate his scales.
Shit.
And that's why scale mail was invented in the medieval era. Because crossbows.
Yeah. Anything else from Jedediah? You still have a bonus action.
He's going to hide.
Okay. This one's going to come up and attack Bakvar. We got a 21 bite for 4 piercing, and then a 23 club for 6 bludgeoning. It is the owl's turn.
Yeah, I was gonna back into the brush and take a shot at the one that Jedediah tried to hit.
Okay, 11 is going to miss.
And then I'm gonna hide into the brush.
Yeah. I will note for you there, the owl, that these blackfin, at least this small group of them, appear to be immune to piercing damage. Seems like they have done some special things to their scales that piercing damage is not going to be effective on them. 12.
So, dagger.
Yeah, so, and they appear to keep their focus on you. It doesn't look like you did a good job of hiding from them with your 12.
Got it.
Sling is probably what you're looking for. Sling is range bludgeoning that uses dexterity. All right, so back to this. Wait, did I miss Tobias? I missed Tobias, didn't I?
No, I'm next.
Did you go first round though? Did you go?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
I missed. The dude rolled like an 18 on his
Oh,
save.
that's right. You cast Sacred Flame. All right. Okay, so right, so he begins to shout instructions at the other lizard folk, and he's no longer dodging.
What's he shouting? Is it in Draconic?
It is in Draconic. Seems like he is directing their activity so that they will be more effective.
I relay all the info to everyone in Larian.
It is Tobias's turn.
Quick question. I know if I cast a cantrip, I can do a spell as a bonus action. Can I use a potion and do a bonus action spell?
You can, yeah. You can do anything.
Okay,
else. You can do anything else you would normally do with an action, except cast a spell other than a cantrip.
Okay, I want to run. I'm going to go to Bakfar. I'm going to use a healing potion on him and cast Shield of Faith.
Okay. So Bakvar gets some hit points back, and it will be Bakvar's turn. I'm assuming you're going to stand up.
Probably a very good idea. I'll definitely use some movement to stand up.
The healing potion, real quick. How many die is that?
2d4 plus 2. 2d4 plus 2.
Awesome.
Jesus!
That's what I do, baby.
So the bloodied one, I'm gonna try and hit him with my gavel.
Oh, yeah.
About 13.
Okay. He goes down. Anything else from Bakvar?
I think that's all. Yep.
Okay. Zell's turn.
I am attacking the leader. No, I'm not. But I am going to bonus action attack again. Does a 16 hit?
Yes, a 16 hits. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So I'm going to expend the superiority die, and I'm going to. He's going to need to make a wisdom save of 14 versus a menacing attack.
Okay. Yeah, so he fails that. Mm-hmm. So he's frightened
So,
for the moment.
Yep, that provides disadvantage for him. So, let me roll my damage here. 4 slashing and 4 from the superiority die. And then I'm going to action surge to strike him again.
Oh, yeah, very nice.
Make sure I subtract those from my numbers here. There we go. Does a
13 does not hit him. Now we're looking for a 15 for these guys.
okay. And action surge basically gives me a whole new set of round, basically. Yeah.
No, just an action. Just another action.
Okay. That's going to be pretty much all I can do then.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have an extra bonus action I can take then.
Right. So this one's going to try to shove the healer prone. So Tobias needs a athletics or acrobatics check, whichever is best for you. But you are not Shifra. So then we've got a 20 to hit Tobias for 3 piercing, and then a 10 misses. Sure. This one is going to try to shove Zell prone and then attack Zell. So Zell needs to beat a 16.
Quick question, because never mind. I'll worry about it later. 16 shove? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So then he's got a 22 to bite. And
Yeah, that'll hit. The 20 will miss.
the 20 will miss. Okay. Oh. What about a 21? Does a 21 hit?
Where's the 21?
Well, they're actually under the effect of cost leadership at this point, so they add an extra.
Oh, okay.
They add an extra D4 to their attack rolls.
Yeah, 21 is what my AC is at.
Okay, so you take 5 points of bludgeoning as well. Okay, so Jedediah, how are we going to get around this piercing damage restriction?
I'm going to embrace my inner monkdom. It's a terrible idea, I'm sure, but I'm going to just dash up and punch the guy next to Zell.
Okay.
I'm going unless I can hit him with the butt of my pistol. I don't know how that would work.
It would be a club, basically, at that point.
Alright, well then we'll do that. And I'm just gonna roll. Do I have anything for a club? Yeah, I'll just roll a dagger attack. Hit.
Yeah, so that's going to hit. Mm-hmm.
Because I moved, am I under stealth? Do I get advantage on that?
Yeah, you could like scutter up here. These things are low obstacles, so you could. And he's distracted by Zell, so yeah, you could get advantage on that.
Didn't give me crit. Hold on, I'll look at the damage of club real quick.
A D4. D4 plus strength.
Lols.
Okay. It takes a little damage.
Still be a sneak attack.
No, it has to be a finesse weapon in order, or a ranged weapon in order to cross sneak attack. Anything else from Jedediah? You still have a bonus action this round. There's something you can do with a bonus action.
I'm going to disengage and move away.
Okay. All right. So this one's going to try to shove Tobias prone and attack. 26 to shove Tobias prone.
So is that the athletics thing?
Yeah, athletics or acrobatics. So Tobias is prone. And then we've got an 11 will miss. This is a 20 hit Tobias. It's actually going to be a 22 to hit Tobias for 6 bludgeoning. And it will be the owl's turn.
You have to make a concentration check on that.
The owl's going to move.
Oh yeah, then we need a DC 10 Constitution saving throw from Tobias as well for the
AC buff.
The owl's going to move behind whatever this thing is, a barrel, and take a shot again at this dude.
Dagger is a finesse weapon.
Meaning?
Yeah, but your pistol whip wouldn't be a dagger; it would be a club.
No. For the sneak attack roll earlier, you mentioned that dagger wouldn't get that.
Yeah.
I rolled dagger, but I was pistol whipping him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm confused.
Yeah. He doesn't have a pistol whip attack on his character sheet, so he was just using his dagger attack to make the attack, but it was actually a club that he was using.
Okay. Apologies.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I need a DC 10 Constitution save from Zell for your Shield of Faith because of the hit you took as well.
Oh, okay.
And then, so what is the owl doing? I'm sorry.
Oh, baby.
All right, so the owl ran up to this object. He's going to take a shot at this guy again with his bow.
Okay, that's going to hit, but they are immune to piercing damage, so it's not going to do any damage.
Even sneak attack wouldn't hurt him?
No,
All
Sneak attack is attacking the damage of the weapon. So
So now that I've confirmed, even though I can try to hit it, it's not going to do any damage.
Right.
I'm going to use my cunning action to hide behind this thing.
Okay. And you think you're pretty well hidden at that point. Okay, so what is Koss going to do at this point? He's got leadership going. All right, so he's going to try to shove Zell prone and then attack Zell. So we got a 25 to shove.
Damn, that's high.
Okay.
And not even my guidance will help with that.
Okay, so then we need, he's got a 22 bite and a 19 misses though, right?
Yeah, 19 will miss.
All right, so I need 22 bite for 5 piercing, and I need a DC10 Constitution saving throw for your Shield of Faith.
Yeah.
It is Tobias's turn.
I got knocked down though, so what do I have to do?
You have to. It takes half your movement to stand up.
Okay, I was going to stand up, and that dude that pushed me down, I'm going to try and hit him with my mace.
Okay. That's going to hit. Anything else from Tobias?
That's it.
Bakvar's turn.
I'm going to swing at this guy to the right of me.
Okay.
My gavel.
Armor class 15 to hit these guys.
That is a 1.
Okay.
And I think that's all, yeah.
Okay, Zell's turn.
Well, I've got to obviously get up. And is Boss Man over here, is he dodging?
No, he's not dodging. He attacked you last turn. So he's not dodging.
Excellent. So I'm going to swing at his happy ass. Aw, I wish that 25 was it. Actually, question. Because he had disadvantage versus me.
Why does he have disadvantage against you?
Menacing. I hit him with that menacing strike.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And he
So that 6 it would have been a 6, and he would have missed. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay. So what about the shove? Would that be a 17?
You don't have disadvantage on ability checks. It's only on attack rolls. You know.
Okay. So I can retract the damage then.
Yeah, that's correct.
I ask because I'm going to initiate another superiority die since I hit him. And I'm going to do... provided I don't maximize my character sheet on my screen here. We're going to do menacing attack again, so he needs another DC wisdom save.
Well, he's got an 18.
He makes that one.
Yeah. But he does take the damage, though.
So he's taking 11, 16, and I'm going to bonus action to strike him.
That was a good hit.
24 hits. And we're going to try another superiority menacing attack. So another DC wisdom.
He fails.
That gets him that time. So he's at disadvantage versus me this next round. Well, actually, I think versus the party. I'll look here in a sec.
Yeah,
But let me roll.
Getting closer to you than he is, and he's at disadvantage on all attack rolls.
So another 11. So, yeah.
Okay, so he goes down at that point. Anything else from Zell?
No, I can't. I use my bonus action, so I'm pretty much good right there.
Okay.
And they're armed with spears, right?
They're armed with spears. Or great clubs. I'm sorry, great clubs. And these guys have clubs and shield. And shields, yeah. All right, so I guess he's going to try to shove Tobias prone and attack Tobias. Yeah.
Picking on me.
Got a 22 to try to shove you prone. All right, so you're prone, and we got a 21 armor class for 8 points of piercing damage. And then, okay, so this one is going to move over here and shove Zell away. I mean, Kosk away from Zell, and then he's going to attack. Try to shove Zell prone and attack him. So we got a 26 shove.
It.
And then an 11 will miss, and a 23 for 7 bludgeoning.
I can roll my guidance to try to succeed. Hey, I'm not prone.
Okay.
But I still get hit for 7.
Yeah, 7 sides.
And let me roll my con here. Oof. Well, my shield of faith goes down.
Okay. And then it is Jedediah's turn.
All right, I'm going to run to the not the corpse, but the unconscious Kosk, and I want to pick up his great club.
Okay. Yeah.
And is that a bonus action or an action?
No, you should do that. Yeah. It's just laying there on the ground. Yeah. It's just picking up just like drawing a weapon or opening a window. It does D6 plus strength is the damage on it. It's actually called a heavy club, not a great club, I was going to say. And
All right, so D6 plus strength. Okay. I'm going to attack the one right next to me then.
uh,
17 to hit. 6.
Do you have a strength modifier? Is it
Nope.
okay?
But it'll do damage.
Anything else from Jedediah? You have a bonus action left.
No, that'll be everything.
This one is going to attack Tobias, but try to shove Bakvar prone, since Jedediah is already prone. So Bakvar needs to make an athletic check. Needs to be to 10. Does a 20 hit Tobias?
Yeah, that's exactly what I have.
Okay, Tobias takes 8 bludgeoning, and I guess we need a Constitution save to concentrate on the Shield of Fate. And it will be the owl's turn.
All right, I'm going to.
Bakvar's Shield.
I'm going to. It's gonna be a tough one. I was gonna assist Zell, but I think Tobias needs my help more now.
Oh no, help Tobias.
Yeah, I'm gonna move here. Let me show you where I want to move. I want to move here, right? And who's next? That's Tobias. So I'm gonna help Tobias by distracting this dude here,
Okay.
so that he gets advantage on his next attack.
Okay, Tobias, you will have advantage against this guy next turn.
And question:
Uh-huh.
do I, as that is that help considered an action?
Yeah, that is an action. Mm-hmm.
And am I allowed to dodge as a bonus action yet at level 3?
Monks are the ones that can dodge as a bonus action. Rogues get
Okay, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna help.
Okay.
We get uncanny dodge at level 5 for halving damage.
All right. So I got 2 levels to go.
Hit Tobias's turn.
All right, I'm going to hit that dude in front of me with my mace. So, and bonus action on my healing word myself.
Okay. Bokvar's turn.
I think. Well,
Oh wait, I missed Tobias there. I'm sorry. It's Tobias's turn.
I think
He just went.
I just went.
Oh, I'm sorry. Which one did you hit then? Okay, I got you. I thought it.
Did you hit the one to the?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, hit the one to the left.
Okay. Now it's Bokvar's turn. Sorry.
I'm gonna hit the one to the right of me.
Okay.
No, not. I'm gonna miss again.
Psych.
Zell's turn.
I am. Well, what are you at, Tobias?
Health-wise, I healed myself just now.
Okay. I'm going to bring my spells here. I am going to cast Shield of Faith up again
Okay.
as my bonus action. And then I'm going to swing at the guy in front of me. On second thought, no, I'm not. That's it.
Okay, so this one takes out a little vial. Well, nah, he's not going to do that. Yeah, he is. And so feeds it to this guy, and he is now awake. This one is going to. He's going to try to shove Jedediah prone. So Jedediah needs to make an acrobatics or athletics check. It's a 25.
I can't possibly do that.
So he's got a 23 bite for 7 piercing and a 22 for 5 bludgeoning. And it will be Jedediah's turn.
Okay, was that acrobatics or athletics?
It can be your choice.
Let me roll then. I'm sorry. Didn't matter.
Yeah. It's just your turn, so you just stand up on your turn. That's fine.
Alright, I'm going to stand up and I took 5 damage. 7 damage.
He took 12.
Total.
Ouch.
7 and then 5.
Ouch. And then the Koska is awake but prone, correct?
That's correct. Gonna get rid of that red.
Finish him.
Go ahead with the club.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. He is still awake a little bit. He doesn't believe he's dead.
Never mind.
Anything else from Jedediah?
Going to disengage and move away. I only have 15 feet of movement, so that's as far as I can go.
Okay. He's prone still, just so I know. All right, so this one, they gotta take the healer down. I know that, so he's going to focus on Tobias. An 18 shove against Tobias. Maybe be athletics or acrobatics to resist that. Okay, so we've got a 21 for 3 piercing and a 21 for 5 bludgeoning. And it will be the owl's turn.
The owl is going to continue to help Tobias against that dude. But I want to swing. I'm going to take a move over and swing to flank.
Okay. All right. So he's going to stand up. Well, he's going to move around and attack Tobias, who's prone there. So we got a 23 for 8, and a 13 will miss. And then he's going to go ahead and try to shove the owl prone. So the owl needs a 22 athletics or acrobatics to avoid being shoved prone.
I'm down.
Okay. Yeah. So Tobias is unconscious, and then
Gotcha.
yeah. Right, and the owl is prone. Tobias needs a death save. So that's one failure, and it is Botvar's turn.
I'm going to touch Tobias and give him 15 points of healing with lay on hands.
Okay, it is Zell's turn.
Well, I will also, as a bonus action, cast a Sanctuary on Tobias,
Okay.
and that will end my turn.
That looks like a symbol for Sanctuary. Right now it's Zell's turn.
Alrighty. Tobias has already been healed. Fuck. This is going to kind of suck, but going to kind of move around this guy right here, and I'm going to go ahead and try to snag their leader with Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
The 22 hits. Awesome.
He's going to go down at that point. He's only got 2 hit points left.
He's taking 16 radiant. He better drop.
Anything else from Zell?
And yeah, I'm going to. Is he down, or is he like dead, or is he just down?
He's still breathing, but he's looking like he's pretty scorched up. He's unconscious.
Okay.
More
So,
importantly, it looks
can
like
I-
each of these guys has a potion of healing that they value their leader greatly.
Can I Sacred Flame him?
Yeah, you can Sacred Flame him. Mm-hmm. That'd be an automatic.
Does he get a save?
No. When you are unconscious, you automatically fail dexterity saves. Okay.
Okay.
You impose a death save on him. A failed death save.
Isn't it 2 death saves?
No,
Only
it's
for
a
crits.
2 death saves if it's a crit. But if you attack from adjacent to him, it's an automatic crit.
Oh, that's right.
Anything else from Zell?
No, those were my actions that I was able to take.
Okay, so this guy is going to provoke from Tobias, who's prone. If you want to take a attack of opportunity at disadvantage against him. Okay. Then he's going to grab his nearly dead leader, drop him there, and shove his potion down his throat. Okay, so he is back up, at least for the time being. Prone, nearly dead, but not quite dead yet. All right, so this will move over here. Try to shove Zell prone and attack prone, and then attack Zell. So a 15 to avoid being shoved prone. Okay.
Yeah, not even the guidance roll is going to save, but he's going to miss all those hits anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Jedediah's turn.
This dude just will not die.
This is the reason we carry over death saves, just so you know.
And
Even though he's conscious again, he still has 2 failed death saves. Is the point? You have advantage.
He's prone, so I get advantage, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to.
Still going to miss.
That is all.
Okay, so we got a couple of people prone here. All right, so he's going to try to shove Bakvar prone, and if he shoves Bakvar prone, he'll attack Bakvar. Otherwise, he will attack Tobias.
Oh, no, when Tobias attacked with his attack of opportunity, the sanctuary fell off.
Oh yeah, because he's an idiot. Oh God, I forgot about that.
So Bakvar needs a 12 to avoid being shoved prone.
No.
Oh,
That's
wow.
unfortunate.
So Bakvar is prone. All right, so we've got a 22 for 4. And then we've got a crit for 10 against Bakvar.
So a total of 14?
Total of 14. Mm-hmm. And it will be the owl's turn.
Is Tobias still up?
Tobias?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and he's going to move back here by his leader. Right.
Oh, great.
There we go. So yeah, it is Owl's turn.
Yep. I'm going to... I'm going to take a half an action to get up. And I'm going to shift over and help Bakvar against this dude should he choose to attack him.
Okay, Bakvar, you'll have advantage on attack against that guy. Anything else from the owl?
Nope.
Okay. Will, he's going to stand up and dodge, realizing that everyone is trying to kill him. Seems like Tobias' turn.
All right, I'm going to take a potion and then bonus action and word of our healing word, Bakvar.
Okay. And it will be Bakvar's
That one's mine.
I'm going to attack the guy to my left.
Okay. I'm assuming you're standing up.
Yeah, stand up.
So that's going to be crit because you have advantage. From the owl's help, you have advantage, so that's a crit. Oh, wow,
Yep.
That's nice. All right. He's going to go down, and they're not going to use their potions on him.
Yep, that's empty.
In fact, I need to do this right here. There we go. It is Zell's turn.
Okay. What's the purple?
They've already, each one of them started with a potion of healing so that they could heal the leader. And these two have already used their potion of healing.
Well, I get to get up. I'm gonna shove this happy little bastard.
Okay.
So versus an 18, I guess. Can I use guidance to add to that?
Well, you can only use guidance once per combat. You enter combat with guidance, but it doesn't refresh each round. It's only
No, I have VAR.
Yeah, if you read VAR, it says out of combat you always have guidance, and you enter combat with guidance, but it doesn't refresh each round. It's only
Okay. So yeah, 18.
I'm gonna roll an attack for him because that has, but it's just ignore everything except for the athletics check at the top. So he's prone.
Woo! So I'm gonna attack him.
That's nice, yeah.
And just to make sure his ass dies, I'm expending my final superiority die for menacing attack. So I guess go ahead and make a DC 14 Wisdom.
Okay. All right, so he fails that.
And he's taken 11, and he is at disadvantage against me.
You should roll another superiority die. That gets doubled on a crit as well.
Oh. So yeah, 14.
Okay. He is in very bad shape. But he is prone with very few hit points, but not quite dead yet. Okay.
And that's pretty much what I get to do.
Okay, so I guess he's going to try to shove Bakvar prone and then attack Bakvar. 16 to shove Bakvar prone. So Bakvar is prone.
Enjoying the ground.
Do a 16 and a 17 hit you.
They both do, yeah.
Okay, so 8 and 8 is 16. This one's going to stand up and try to shove try to shove Zell prone and then attack Zell. You guys are in a shoving match over there.
So a 9. Oh wait, no, never mind. Shove. Ignore that. Hold
on. Okay, so you're shoved prone, but I don't think you have Shield of Faith back up, right? So it's a 21 to hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both of those.
Well, he's gonna miss the 13 and the 5 anyways.
Why would he have disadvantage? Oh, that's right.
19.
Yeah, that's right. He has. Yeah,
he's disadvantaged. So sorry, the 19 and the 5. Gotcha. But yeah, they both miss.
It's Jedediah's turn.
All right, gonna go for Kosk again.
Oof.
Well, he's dodging, so you have disadvantage.
Didn't matter.
Nice.
Okay, he goes down again.
He's all ready and you're just beating him with the end of your gun.
No, I'm
you're using the heavy club now. Right.
It's the owl.
With his club, no less.
Yeah.
It's the owl's turn.
That is amazing.
Punch him when he's down.
Yeah.
I'm going to
finish him off.
Finish him off.
The leader. Move next to him to get an auto crit.
An unarmed attack would be enough, I'm pretty sure. Like a curb stomp type of thing.
Yeah, he has 2 death saves, so if you come up and punch him while he's unconscious, it's a crit and it's 2 death saves, he's done, game over.
Do we want to kill him?
Yes.
Alright.
Pretty sure that's our objective right now, considering I've dropped him a couple times.
I'll move on in and kick him in the face.
Okay.
Well, that's all.
Just it would be just an unarmed attack is just a D20 plus your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus, and you have advantage because he's unconscious and prone and all sorts of reasons. So roll a couple of D20s there, and yeah, so we need another D20 because you have advantage. 14 is going to miss. He's got an arm class 15. There we go.
That'll hit.
Okay, so you punch him in the head, and you see his skull collapse. He's clearly dead at that point.
Good job, Al.
And the other 2 seem to be willing to negotiate at that point. It's Tobias's turn.
I'm just going to use a healing potion on Bakvar.
Okay, Bakvar's turn.
Did they lower their weapons?
I mean, they're still defending themselves, but yeah, it looks like they realize now that their leader is gone that things are not going to be good for them.
Okay, so I think I would consider them unready to fight anymore, so I cease my attacks and end my turn.
Yeah. Okay, so is anyone not going to? On their turns, they just ready and don't do anything else.
You need to kill them.
I'm gonna at least stand back up, and in Draconic, I'm gonna speak to him. Do you stand down, and will you take the rest of your people to the other encampment to incorporate with them?
We'll take Kost's body and leave the Hoyt Swamp, but we have no interest in joining those peaceniks.
I don't really like that plan.
Not really sure I do either. I relay that to the group. What do we do? Opinions.
They can leave, but they don't get his body.
I mean,
I say kill them.
Bakvar
I'm down for killing them.
won't attack them unless they're ready to fight themselves, but outside of that,
Right, so they're going to make an argument for Kost's body. So Kosk has been their war chief for years, and the idea of letting him be taken in to be diced up and used in some sort of foul human magic is just abhorrent to them. That is just, he was a noble and long-serving chief of their band. What is your objection to letting them go and inter their long-serving chief in a manner adherent to their culture? That's what they want to do. They want to bury their chief, not let him be drugged back as a trophy by some outsiders.
I don't expect
we're not
them to
using
be
him
able
as
to
a
resurrect
trophy.
him, so
We don't know if they have a shaman.
We don't.
We stopped him to the white meat. I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah, they don't have a means to raise him. No.
I agree with them. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is. There's two of them left. We pretty much wiped out their leader. He's the one that was masterminding everything. I don't think we have any reason to not to just let them take the body and leave.
I'm fine with that. I was just conferring with you guys before a decision was made.
Well, if the group is okay with them taking it, I'd like to observe the burial and that process, but if that's not something they're willing to do, I'm okay. I just don't want them to have some means to resurrect this guy and cause more issues.
Yeah, they don't have a problem with you observing it. They're going to build a funeral pyre and burn his body. It'll take several hours to do so. There's another dozen or so of the warrior casts. They're not as well prepared. Like, they don't have the interlocking scales to prevent the piercing damage. They're just more like lesser lizard folks who were still part of the. And then some of the cultists come to attend the ceremony as well, because even though they weren't adherents to his cause, they still respected Kost's service to the tribe. And yeah, so they build a funeral pyre and after
I'd like to help them build it if they'd let me.
Yeah, they would help you. Yeah, if you wanted to show your respects to Kost, they would agree to that. And then in Draconic, you can tell from their conversations that some of them are going to go ahead and join the cultists, even though they said they weren't. But more than half of the ones who were still raiding are they are discussing rumors of distant lizard folk tribes that they might be able to join to be absorbed into, and how they would insinuate themselves, how they would prove themselves to those other tribes as assets to the tribe if they were to present themselves there. It looks like they are planning on evacuating the Hoyt Swamp to find another location. But they won't be raiding anymore. That's for sure.
Zell is going to actually plant his longsword at the base of the pyre in recognition of his strength, and just kind of leave it there and back off.
Excellent.
Basically, as a tribute to his strength.
And we're okay with chitin staying underground, out of sight in this swamp, right? But that's it. Okay.
I'm going to personally offer escorting the lizard folk. Whoever wished to go to the cultists that are basically worshiping chitin. I'm going to basically offer to escort him there.
Okay, yeah, that'll be good. Does anybody have a what is my best insight ability here?
I think mine's +5.
I have a +5 as well.
Better than mine.
Yeah.
Right. So you will notice that even though she's a different species, that Bosk seems like she is anxious and not completely rational. Like she's not a. I should have mentioned this whenever you were interacting with her. I mean, she's not necessarily being deceptive. Like she's not deliberately lying, but she does seem to be out of sorts, like under some sort of an influence, not necessarily magical, but that her thinking is somehow disturbed. Just so you know.
Oh, that may have changed the whole thing.
Well, it was probably in the dragon.
Yeah. Okay. Then I think that's going to resolve things. We need some treasure from the consortium. Let me get that rolled up here real quick.
I think the question of the dragon might be a future thing, where if we ever want to clean up, we might be able to come back and do something more stealthily or more creatively to get into the cave. But for now, we probably...
Yeah, I think that's going to be a future development, if at all. I think probably one of the decisions that we're going to have to make is if we're going to relay the info about chitin to the Vardatis family.
I would vote no, because almost certainly their fanatical Save the Dragon son would come running out here immediately.
I don't think he would in this circumstance because it's beyond the point of saving. Like
I don't think he would believe that, though.
Well, we don't know him too well.
If he's already
the mess we had at first.
Yeah, if he's already that slanted, they're like that was their whole thing was getting them before they became too tainted, and he's already got this huge faction. And
I wouldn't call this dragon super tainted, given the mostly peaceful nature of the tribe that's going on right now.
Well, it's peaceful right now because they're getting what they want. Like we haven't seen what would happen if we pushed it.
Exactly, and so he'd probably be like, "Oh, no one's pushed it yet. Let's go save it before that happens."
So here's the consortium gives you the gems and coins within the looted material. There are 2 potions that the lizard folks had not been able to figure out yet. That's a potion of resistance, of fire resistance, and a potion of greater healing. If you want to change that fire resistance to a different type of resistance, like if there's something in particular that you're worried about, you should feel free to do that. It doesn't have to be fire; it could be any sort of that you choose. So if you go the way that I expect most groups were, and say, we're going to let the peaceniks hang out here in the swamp, that is expected to set up a situation that will be resolved later. So anything else we need to take care of? So we get back to town without any incident. Probably have to camp out on the riverbank overnight, but that's okay. And then we get our loot, and we will. Is there anything we need to wrap up in game before we start talking about things?
Aside from XP, I think we need to wrap up with the person that sent us out on this mission to begin with. Let them know that the rating should cut down.
If not entirely stop.
Yeah.
I forgot about this. Yeah, let me get you your key. So this is total, by the way.
Yep.
Let's see, we had
Bugs.
yeah, that was part of the skills challenge, and that was
Damn mosquitoes.
then we had dealing with we had the black fins. Was also 500. Okay. The cultists are more complicated because you got 14 times 25 plus boss, who's worth 200. So what does that come out to? 14, so that'd be 12. That'd be 350. That'd be 550 for the cultists. And then the disease.
1739. Holy shit.
Yeah, so the disease is 75 each. That would be, what would that be? That would be 153, 375. Yeah. I think that was all of it. Yeah.
What about killing cost? Is that part of just black fins?
Say again?
Killing the black fins was black fins, okay.
Right, yeah. Kosk is actually no different from the other black fins, except that he has the leadership trait, the leadership action, which knights and all sorts of leaders have that give. It's basically a bless for his followers. It doesn't affect him, but it affects the other members around him.
There's 5 of us, not 6.
Yeah. I have 24, 25 total.
Yeah, I think it's still 45 each with 5 people.
Oh, I did math wrong somewhere. What the? Oh yeah, 45.
Cool.
All right, so I'm going to tell you what's going on because, like I say, in the aftermath, if anybody once I have these ready to send to my editor, if anybody wants to read through them, that's fine. All right, so the dragon actually isn't with Bosk. The dragon stopped by with the druid who actually has the Titan, and Bosk was extremely ecstatic, right? She has this worshipful attitude towards dragons. And as they were leaving, just to get out of it, they found her amazingly irritating, like just her the way she kowtowed to this baby dragon and was just over the top. And then just like, yeah, this is just too saccharine. And so they left, but without anybody else in the tribe knowing. And to get away from her, they implied that they would come back, that they would return. So she's under the delusion that it's sort of a form of madness now that this dragon is going to come back and establish this cult, but the dragon is not actually there. Right? The dragon is, and so she's now keeping that secret. That's the reason she's the only one who can talk to the dragon, is that
right.
That she's got.
So this is not going to be as much of an issue in the future as we thought.
Right. And
But we don't know that.
Yeah,
We did good,
I didn't know
guys.
that, but that's what's going on with Bosk, and then I think we understand the broader issue where the evolution of this cult. Before the dragon left, it did teach Bosk how to cast Goodberry. He does know how to cast Goodberry, and Chitin also knows how to cast Goodberry. As one of its draconic spells. So the evolution of this peace cult has, had this schism, and so it sets up where you have to choose, right? Is the dragon more important, or is it better to have this lizard folk peace cult in place, right? And I think most groups are going to choose the way you did. That's my expectation, and are going to have to fight Kosk along the way. But I like the way the story played out. I thought it was interesting. It was entertaining to run for me. I would be interested in your observations on it.
I think we actually did something that's quite a bit different than what we normally have done, where we basically go, no, fuck that, and pretty much just go straight in, balls deep, as it were. Like we do with the kobolds, for instance.
I've recently reviewed my character a bit, and so the way he acts will be changing to be less gung-ho in most cases. I feel we explored a lot of the possibilities in trying to deal with it. I don't know if we could have come up with any better resolution than what we did.
Yeah, I like that. It was very entertaining for me to run. I like it when the players get in there and explore the subtleties of the plot and how the things are working underneath the hood. That's really enjoyable for me. So that was very good for me, just as an observation.
Car analogy. I think probably in addition to really doing this a bit differently, the position that we were in as a party of 5 this time around, because like I mentioned earlier, kind of slightly before we started, the initial party, there were only 4 of us, and we didn't exactly have the same level of danger necessarily that this would have presented. And while we kind of went, we still ended up fighting, one part of the group, but I think that this time around we played a little bit more with some of the diplomacy that we generally don't actually utilize fully to an extent. Usually we just kind of jump into something in basically a true mercenary role. And I think with some of us going up that, hitting level 4 and kind of with like my character, for example, cross-classing over into cleric, who, kind of, for some of the stuff, established more of a defensive aegis of sorts.
Yeah, we did seem to have much more healing involved here, and that seemed to make a good difference. Having 3 people who could heal was a good thing.
That was really important.
Yeah, I think that with the number of people we had this session, and the fact that I don't know what everyone else did for their classes, but definitely taking that cross class of cleric helped to basically boost it to where, at least for my character, I didn't drop into the negatives quite as quick as I could have, because there were some of those rolls that those lizards were making that my character would have been down real fast. So having some more healing that can be tossed around will definitely come into better use.
Yeah, this is the first time that I haven't run out of spells and gone through at least half a dozen healing potions.
So there are a couple of things that you bring up there that or remind me that I want to. So the first one is that this is true of all of the modules except for those that I write for characters above that are 20th level and above, and that is that they every encounter and every hazard is going to scale. Right. So for example, if there had been 6 of the PCs, there would have been like 1 additional Blackfin, like 3 additional cultists, like 1 extra crocodile. So having 1 less person may feel better, but really it shouldn't affect the difficulty of the encounter.
I think in this case, because for example, this specific fight where they pretty much have triple multi-attack, where they can attempt to shove every turn along with attacking twice.
Right.
Is that scaling those numbers up scales a lot harder than what a normal other type of, like a simpler combat encounter might scale up with.
Another thing, yeah. So speaking of that, in addition to their shove, the piercing immunity. That's
what got us.
Yeah. So if
That was another one.
I've always got a hammer.
if that had not have been there, this would have been a much easier final encounter. I think because you had the owl and Jedediah. So that just for reference, just pick up a sling, right? Just carry a sling. You may only use it, once every 20 encounters, whatever. Whenever there's something wrong with your piercing damage, but it's just it's a good thing to have a second damage type available to you. And then
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to imply that having the 1 less person was basically a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that with how this particular session felt, with just the 5 of us, in addition to how it felt, with how we handled certain things, not having that 6th or even potentially a 7th person, if we go back up to that high or wherever we get back to, kind of at least for me, made me kind of change how my character would kind of go into something.
Yeah, but also you got to think too. Now that you guys you're talking about mostly at the very beginning, but now you're invested in the territory. You have long-term goals now, so it's not as simple as just steamrolling everything. You're trying to achieve bigger things.
Yep.
So this is kind of a change of topic, but that's okay. We're kind of in the analysis. So the goal is to have 6 players who are there each week that are fully participating and enjoying the game. The reason that I can go up to 8 is that sometimes you will have someone's like, well, I want to come and I want to bring my girlfriend, right? And you want to be able to accommodate that, because that's nice when you have real world ties and you're playing with them. You know what I mean? Or sometimes I'm going to Gen Con next week, and I will definitely have friends there, and they may say, well, can I set in for a game or two, or a session or two, and I want to be, and they're not going to be a full-time long-term player. They're just wanting to play a little bit, because it can be hard to find a game sometimes, and and this allows me to accommodate those type of sort of one-off debts that I need to reconcile. But the goal is like I say, 6. That's kind of the ideal number that I have found. Once you go above 6, things can get very slow. Just because that 7th person in a turn order seems to just disproportionately drag things down. And then once you get beneath 4, you become very susceptible to a bad die roll, right? So at 6 people, if someone is critted and goes unconscious, you're like, well, that's 1/6 of our party, right? If you have 3 people and one of them succumbs to that, then you're like, oh, now there's just 2 of us, right? So I find that 6 is 5 or 6 is kind of my target zone there. So I have a list of people who are wanting to join. So I'll bring one of them in next week. No, I won't. Actually, that reminds me of another thing. So I'm going to Gen Con. I won't be here next Wednesday, so we will miss a week.
Okay. That is okay. I'm camping next Wednesday, which is important to have brought up.
All right. So there was one. But going back to the other thing. So this felt pretty good to me as far as balance goes. We technically had 4 events. Had the crocodiles, which seemed like a balanced, interesting opening, random encounter. I was okay with that. I didn't.
Hey man, I got bit.
Yeah, I didn't feel it.
A lot.
I went swimming.
The purpose of that opening encounter, that random encounter, especially when you have people who have advanced the level, is to just get everyone, including myself, comfortable with the new character abilities, right? You want to see, you want to test them out. So you don't want something that's going to be either too soft or too hard. You want something that's kind of right by the book, right? And is going to see how the new levels, and this is true of Dimgaard Adventures. And in that situation, I don't want it to be an encounter that is going to dramatically affect the careers of the PCs. So it needs to be something like Wandering Beasts, right? Where if things go badly with the alligators, you're not just devastated, right? But anyway, but I thought that went well. It achieved the effects that I was hoping for. I think people got comfortable with their new levels, and then the two environmental effects, the swarms and of course the swarms missed everybody except for 1 hit. Out of 5 hits, they only hit 1. But it still served its purpose of doing a little bit of damage, a little bit of an HP tax. And then the disease. So those were the 3. And then the final combat against Kosk. So typically you want about 6 events. So we were a little bit light, but I made up for that because the shove attack or the shove action is not normally a part of the lizard folk stat block, right? So coming into that, I knew that we were going to be running on like 4 encounters, and I wanted that to be the climactic one. So I added the shove to them as an optional thing, which is all because we were, and I thought that was fine. I thought it felt very balanced to me. It felt like it was challenging, but not crazy. Am I wrong on that? Does anyone want to take a different perspective on that?
No,
Was the shove a bonus action?
Well, what it is so a lizard folk normally has they carry a shield. Your just baseline lizard folk is going to have a heavy club and a shield. These had a couple of extra hit dice, so they had a few extra hit points. That put them over the threshold where if they were a PC, they could have taken a feat, right? So a feat, I gave them Shield Master as a feat. And that's listed in the stat block as just like what the situation is, something that a DM should do only if they feel like it needs to be toughened up, like for a party or if some of the earlier things are bypassed in some way. So that's where the shove comes from. So it's the Shield Master feat, which allows them to, if they make an attack, then they can use their bonus action to shove someone prone.
Neat.
I feel like that the combination of that shove attack and then the immunity of the piercing, I think it was just the right amount of difficulty because of our healing abilities. But I think if we hadn't been able to heal, I think we might have got worked over pretty good on that one.
If they didn't have the the immunity to piercing, I feel like they would have dropped rather quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
There's another effect there. Right, so Toss sounds an alarm on his first action, and beginning, and we never made it that far because this kind of puts the party on a timer. At the beginning, similar to what happened with the kobolds, where the kobolds began to come in a few each round, beginning on turn 4, three. I'm sorry, no, that's right. It would be 5. One lesser lizard folk. They're basically just they're CR1/8 guards that are lizard folk come swimming in and that happens for 3 rounds. So there's a total of 15 of them, 3 per PC, and they come in at one per PC per round, beginning on rounds 4, 5, and 6. But we finished things before we got to round 4. Right, we took down Kosk at round 3, so we never got to that point. So there is an additional complication that can come into play, but we did it fine. But I think you're right. There was a lot of optional stuff in there that I need to note for sure, so that the DM can manage that well. Because I think you're right. I think if we had less healing, it would have been a different story. But then on the other side, if the piercing immunity hadn't been there, it would have been a very easy. I mean, if the owl and Jedediah are dealing their sneak attack damage, it's going to be over in 2 rounds, I think. At the moment.
Oh yeah, we just steamrolled them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I actually weakened my character damage-wise a little bit, but traded it for damage resistance. For that fight specifically.
Shields. Arrows for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was happy with the way it played. I have notes that I want to be sure to include, and that's good. But does anybody have any additional observations they want to make for me? And if not, just in general, that doesn't have to be about this adventure. It could be just things in like, for example, if someone has a girlfriend that they want to bring into play, instead of me recruiting a stranger for that 6th spot, now would be a good time for that to happen. Or a friend, right? Who that would always be the best choice to me would be if someone has a solid recommendation rather than recruiting off of the forums.
My left hand? I don't. I think potentially bringing in another random wouldn't be too bad of an idea. And actually, this way, they have 2 weeks, depending on when you get the email sent their way. Anyways, they have up to 2 weeks to review the info and pose some questions over in the Discord chat.
Yeah, I would highly recommend having them possibly like ask questions of us and other people about at least the campaign setting.
Not to try and sway like who you pick, but it would be pretty sweet if we had a nuke. If we could get like a sorcerer or something, or a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Wizard, sorc, or a warlock.
Okay.
Spellcaster.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will ask that, and so I'll
because with our current party makeup, there's more than enough melee capability.
It's also kind of why I went Charger, so like if anything's really far away, I'm just going to get on their face because melee everywhere.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm going to dual class or anything. I'm have solo intention of just healing all the time, everything, so I could probably keep them up.
Yeah, we've basically got our 2 ranged sneaky types, and then the other 3 of us are basically up in the face. Basically up in the face, and then we've got the 3 healers now,
which also happen to be the people that are up in the face.
Yeah,
all the time.
I heal myself. I hear myself.
Well, I mean that while that could be a thing, there was a lot of team heals getting thrown around.
Yep.
So, I definitely think some type of a nuke, like what was mentioned, would be beneficial to the party. For the campaign setting,
like outside of combat, would also bring another toolkit that can help us solve problems.
right? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is for the campaign setting, that'll bring a whole other facet that we will have that as the party we will encounter. Because the Inquisitors and the One True Faith and all that. We go into a town and they're like, "Oh, look, there's a caster." Well, now we get to defend the party. So there's the role playing aspect in there as well.
Right. Yeah, I think those are all good points. I think they're very, very valid points. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, if I will confer with whoever's next on the list and make that recommendation if they bring some sort of an arcane caster. Anything else we want to hit on?
So I just want to confirm, did we say we're not meeting next Wednesday?
Right, I will not.
Right, yeah, 2 Wednesdays from today.
Yeah. I will be in Indianapolis at Gen Con. Is anybody else going to Gen Con by any chance? I don't know. That's fine.
I'll be at a cell phone service area in a forest.
Hugging trees. Make sure you don't take any honey with you. I hear bears love that shit.
Especially in like northern-ish Ontario.
Oh, watch out for moose.
Right? Polar bears. Okay, they're not that far south. Not yet.
Okay, well, I'm going to get off here, guys. I got to work tomorrow, and it's after 10. So I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. I enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Take it easy.